Chapter 346. The Phoenix Girl was shrouded in crimson flames, and there seemed to be a shadow of a fire phoenix behind her. She descended from the sky and stood in front of Ling Xiao. She looked at Ling Xiao with her big watery eyes and a charming smile. "Little brother, I didn't expect you to be so strong. Putting aside Shi Tian Luo, I didn't expect you to kill the Tiger King as well." The Phoenix Girl walked to the edge of the pool and smiled at Ling Xiao. "Why? Phoenix Girl, do you want to avenge the Tiger King?" Ling Xiao said calmly with a bright gleam in his eyes. The Phoenix Girl's every move was charming. There was a strange fluctuation in her voice, as though it could make people lose themselves in it. "Little brother, what are you talking about? The Tiger King is too annoying. He always pesters me. Little brother, help me kill him. I can't thank you enough. Why would I find trouble with you?" The Phoenix Girl giggled. "However, I really need this 9-cycle golden lotus. Little brother, give it to me and I'll compensate you. How about that?" "Oh. How?" Ling Xiao smiled faintly. However, he was very cautious. The Phoenix Girl's cultivation had reached the second level of the celestial realm. Moreover, Ling Xiao could feel a faint sense of danger from her. "Why don't you compensate me with your body?" The Phoenix Girl's eyes flashed, and her face blushed. She moved closer to Ling Xiao as if she was at his mercy. A fragrance wafted through the air as a soft body leaned towards Ling Xiao. However, all Ling Xiao saw was a slender jade-like hand that was emitting a faint glow as it slapped towards Ling Xiao's chest. Mysterious flames filled the air. If he was hit by this palm, even a celestial realm expert would be severely injured. Bang! A faint smile appeared on the corner of Ling Xiao's mouth. His hand was as fast as lightning, instantly grabbing Phoenix Girl's slender hand and pulling her into his embrace. The soft and sweet body in his arms was especially fragrant. Ling Xiao couldn't help but take a deep breath. He leaned towards the Phoenix Girl's ear and exhaled gently. He smiled and said, "You're really a beauty. Are you really going to compensate me with your body?" The Phoenix Girl froze. She was caught off guard by Ling Xiao's sudden attack. Her eyes were filled with shame and anger. She didn't expect Ling Xiao to see through her attack. However, no matter how she struggled, she couldn't escape from Ling Xiao's embrace. She felt like she was being hugged by a dragon. Moreover, Ling Xiao breathed into her ear and even purposely used his teeth to touch her earlobe. This caused her body to go soft and numb. There was a flame surging in her body like spring water. She couldn't help but clamp her legs together. "Get away from me." The Phoenix Maiden flew into a rage out of humiliation. Her palms were suffused with a crimson glow. Strands of runes floated up as if they had transformed into the phantom of a fire phoenix that pounced toward Ling Xiao. The flames were incomparably hot, causing the void to tremble slightly. "Lady Phoenix Girl, didn't you want to pay with your body? I'm fulfilling your wish. As long as you serve me well, I'll give you the 9-revolution golden lotus." Ling Xiao was amused. He held the Phoenix Girl in his arms with one hand and formed a fist with the other. He punched the scarlet mist in the sky and the flames were turned into nothingness. Ling Xiao's hand climbed up the Phoenix Girl's buttocks. They were soft, smooth, and bouncy. Ling Xiao couldn't help but pat them twice. "Ah!" The Phoenix Girl screamed like a frightened rabbit. Powerful Xiantian Gang Qi gushed out from her body, and she instantly broke free from Ling Xiao's evil claws. She bounced up, her cheeks flushed red, and she looked at Ling Xiao with eyes full of shame and anger. "Ling Xiao, you bastard!" The Phoenix Girl gritted her teeth. She wanted to use the art of seduction to make Ling Xiao submit to her. She didn't expect this young man to be so strange. Not only was he not affected, he even teased the Phoenix Girl. "Phoenix Girl, didn't you say you wanted to compensate me with your body?" Ling Xiao's face was filled with innocence. Whoosh! At this moment, a ray of light flew across the sky and grabbed the 9-revolution golden lotus in the pool. Then, it quickly fell into Ling Xiao's hands. Ling Xiao took the opportunity to pluck the 9 revolution golden lotus while the Phoenix girl was distracted. Ling Xiao, return the 9 revolution golden lotus to me. The Phoenix girl realized that she had been fooled. Her eyes were about to spit fire as she looked at Ling Xiao angrily. However, the Phoenix girl was too beautiful. Her voice was as clear as a bell. Even if she was angry, it sounded like she was flirting. It was hard to dislike her. Come and get it if you can. Ling Xiao laughed and punched the pool. A mysterious powder was sprinkled out by Ling Xiao. Suddenly, a strange fragrance appeared in the air. Ling Xiao didn't even look back. He used the secret teleportation technique and rushed down the mountain. In a few seconds, he disappeared into the mountain range. When the fragrance wafted over, Phoenix Woman's expression changed. She had a bad feeling about this. Rumble. The waves in the deep pool surged, and dozens of water pillars shot up into the sky. A black flood dragon rushed out from the deep pool. It had a single horn on its head and ferocious black scales. There were 2 dragon claws on its abdomen, and its blood-red eyes were filled with rage. The black flood dragon stared at the Phoenix girl. Then, its 100-feet-long body rushed out from the pool and swept towards the Phoenix girl. The black flood dragon's aura was too terrifying. It was already a 6th-rank demonic beast. Moreover, it had a trace of the bloodline of a real dragon. It could control the wind and rain. The dragon tail emitted an unparalleled divine force. The Phoenix girl couldn't avoid it. Ling Xiao, bastard. I'll catch you sooner or later. The Phoenix girl stomped her feet in anger. However, she had no choice but to use her cultivation to block the black flood dragon's attack. She hated Ling Xiao so much that her teeth itched. Not only was she taken advantage of by Ling Xiao, she didn't get the 9 revolution golden lotus, but she was also targeted by a beast. This made Phoenix girl cry out in anger. She had never suffered such a loss. She vented all her anger on the black flood dragon. Although the flood dragon was an archaic variant with a strong bloodline, how could it be a match for the Phoenix girl? After a fierce battle, the black flood dragon let out an unwilling roar and was killed by the Phoenix girl. The Phoenix girl looked around. Ling Xiao's figure was nowhere to be seen. Ling Xiao, I'll catch you. The Phoenix maiden snorted coldly and flew in the direction of Ling Xiao's departure. At this moment, Ling Xiao had already flown over the mountain range and arrived at a valley. The bag of powder that Ling Xiao threw out just now was specially made by him. It had a fatal attraction to demonic beasts. When Ling Xiao arrived at the pool, he already felt that there was a 9 revolution golden lotus here. However, there was also a powerful demonic beast hibernating in the pool. Chapter 347. The Longevity Secret Territory had been sealed for tens of thousands of years. It was like an undeveloped world filled with all sorts of treasures. However, the demonic beasts within were also very strong. Many people ended up in the stomachs of the demonic beasts when they were searching for treasures. Ling Xiao traversed through the desolate mountains. Along the way, he saw a few powerful medicine kings absorbing the essence of the sun and moon, emitting an extremely strong aura. However, Ling Xiao was not a match for demon kings at the moment. Hence, he took a detour when he saw them from afar. The outer region of the secret land of immortality is of no use to me now. My physical strength has not reached the limit yet. If I want to perfect my physical body and reach the critical point of breaking through to the body of Flying Dragon, it seems that I have to go to the secret lands in the middle region. Ling Xiao thought to himself as a glint flashed across his eyes. The Longevity Secret Territory was extremely vast. From the entrance to 50,000 miles away, it was the outer region. Most of the demonic beasts were rank 5 and below. Although there were some rank 6 demonic beasts and even demon kings, they were too rare. The area between 50,000 and 80,000 miles away was the middle region. There were many rank 6 demonic beasts there. There were also some secret territories left behind by the longevity sect. They were extremely precious. The area between 80,000 and 100,000 miles away was the core region. There were countless precious treasures of the longevity sect hidden there. Of course, there were also many demon kings. As for the area beyond 100,000 miles, it was the Void Crack, a dangerous forbidden area. It was not a place that ordinary people could enter. There was a mysterious place in the middle region. It was extremely beneficial for Ling Xiao to refine his physical body. Just as Ling Xiao was heading towards the middle region, outside the longevity's secret territory, a sloppy old man with a head full of white hair and a tattered robe flew over on a huge gourd. His target was the stone door of the longevity's secret territory. The longevity's secret territory is finally open. Looks like my mission is coming to an end. The old man drank a mouthful of wine happily. There was a hint of vicissitudes and sharpness in his old and cloudy eyes. He stared at the stone door, his face full of emotions. Hugging the huge gourd, he flew unsteadily into the stone door. There was a layer of white light around his body. It was endless, vast and pure. If Ling Xiao could see it, he would definitely exclaim. This old man had also cultivated the longevity chi cultivation technique. Ling Xiao headed towards the depths of the longevity's secret territory. He passed through many mountains, collecting spiritual herbs and killing powerful demonic beasts along the way. However, during this time, Ling Xiao met with some trouble. As long as Ling Xiao took a fancy to the precious spiritual herbs, he would find that the herbs were gone after he killed the demonic beasts guarding them. Am I being watched by some mysterious entity? A cold glint flashed across Ling Xiao's eyes as he felt a chill run down his spine. Even though he had locked onto them with the power of his primordial spirit, those precious spiritual herbs had disappeared without a trace. Of the herbs and of the longevity of time, of the secret of heaven of the territory of the longevity's secret territory of the realm of the heavens territory. Devouring. After carefully inspecting the area a few times, Ling Xiao was finally able to rely on some subtle traces to discover that the vitality and essence of the spiritual herbs and demonic beast corpses had been devoured by a powerful devouring force. That was why such a scene had occurred. Could it be it? Ling Xiao felt the strange yet familiar devouring power. He seemed to have thought of something. His eyes were filled with excitement. 10,000 years have passed. It can't still be alive. If it is still alive, it should have become a deity and left this world. But why is there its aura here? Ling Xiao's eyes flashed. He could not figure out the situation. However, if you want to be sure, you should give it a try. That old fellow should appear soon. Ling Xiao's lips curled into a smile. He continued to move forward and kill demonic beasts. He watched as the energy of the demonic beasts and spiritual herbs was devoured and turned into nothingness. Ling Xiao used the spiritual herbs he already had to refine a transparent spiritual liquid. It was like a nectar. It gave off a rich fragrance that made people feel refreshed. Buzz! Ling Xiao poured a glass of spiritual liquid and slowly placed it on the ground. Runes spread out from his hand and sealed off the space around the glass. Only the fragrance of the spiritual liquid could still spread out and permeate the surroundings. Ling Xiao's body flashed. He restrained his aura to the extreme and hid in a towering ancient tree. Buzz buzz buzz. Ling Xiao saw that there was an invisible ripple in the space around the glass cup. It was as if a mysterious force was reaching for the glass cup. However, the glass cup was sealed by Ling Xiao's runes. Therefore, the mysterious force could not penetrate the runes, let alone touch the liquid in the glass cup. It's here. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed. He saw a black mountain goat peeking out from behind a large green rock in the distance. The goat looked quite extraordinary. Its entire body flickered with a faint spirit light, and its black hair was as shiny as silk. It had 2 golden horns and sharp fangs in its mouth. His eyes were full of spirituality, carrying a human-like excitement as he carefully moved towards the glass cup. The liquid in the glass cup seemed to have a fatal attraction to the mountain goat. Its eyes lit up. However, the mountain goat did not act rashly. It looked around carefully. After confirming that there was no danger, it shook its head and walked over. It's really him. Ling Xiao's entire body trembled, and his eyes revealed an indescribably pleasantly surprised expression, appearing to be incomparably excited. In his previous life, everyone knew that Ling Xiao was known as the Sky-Devouring Supreme. He was the leader of the 10 titled Supreme. He dominated the world with his Sky-Devouring secret skill. However, others did not know that Ling Xiao had obtained the Sky-Devouring secret skill because of a great opportunity. 10,000 years ago, when Ling Xiao was young, he accidentally entered an ancient relic and found a mysterious bone. The bone was covered with runes and recorded the Sky-Devouring secret skill. Ling Xiao also met a black mountain goat in the ancient relic. At that time, it was already a demon king and had cultivated the Sky-Devouring secret skill. It even left the ancient relic with Ling Xiao and came to the War God continent. Chapter 348. In Ling Xiao's previous life, the goat and Ling Xiao were both friends and teacher. If Ling Xiao hadn't died, both of them might have broken through the peak of humanity and reached the realm of gods. Ling Xiao originally thought that the goat had become a god and left the War God continent. Who would have thought that he would see it here? Clang! The black goat also discovered the rune array outside the glass cup, and a trace of disdain appeared in its eyes. It immediately extended its hoof and kicked down, causing the rune array to explode. The black goat grabbed the glass cup and drank it in one gulp. The goat's eyes showed incomparable enjoyment. A human-like smile and excitement appeared on its face. Ling Xiao's lips curled into a smile. This goat was still as cocky as ever. But for some reason, its cultivation had fallen. It looked even weaker than a 6th-level monster now. Who is it? Get the hell out here. The goat's eyes turned and spoke in human language. It looked at the ancient tree that Ling Xiao was hiding in. What sharp insight! Ling Xiao's eyes flashed. He had no intention of continuing to hide. He jumped down from the ancient tree. Young man, it's you. Why are you hiding so sneakily? Could it be that you want to harm me? The goat glared at Ling Xiao. Its eyes showed a trace of hostility. Old goat, you've been following me all this time. You stole my spiritual herbs and guarded my corpse. Now you've even stolen my immortal drunken wine. You still have the nerve to question me? Ling Xiao rolled his eyes and said in annoyance. You're the old goat. Your whole family are old goats. After hearing Ling Xiao's words, the goat suddenly jumped up. Its 4 hooves dug into the ground as if it wanted to charge at Ling Xiao. White smoke came out of its nose and its eyes were filled with anger. Ling Xiao laughed in his heart. The goat called itself the heaven-devouring great emperor 10,000 years ago. It hated being called an old goat the most. Once it was called that, it would go berserk. Young man, you're disrespectful to me. Aren't you afraid that I'll kill you? But I see that your talent is not bad. You're a promising talent. Kneel down and become my disciple. Give me 300 to 500 caddies of your immortal drunken wine and I'll forgive you. The goat stared at Ling Xiao. Its eyes rolled a few times as it spoke indifferently. 300 to 500 caddies of immortal drunken wine? Why don't you go rob a bank? Also, I already have a master. I can't join another master. Ling Xiao said in annoyance. The immortal drunken wine was refined by him using several types of precious spiritual herbs. It could be considered a type of fine wine. In terms of the energy contained within, the immortal drunken wine in the glass cup was comparable to a supreme grade elixir. 300 to 500 caddies of immortal drunken wine. You have a master. Who is your master? This emperor will bring you to kill him. Then, won't you be able to become my disciple? The goat said indifferently. I'm afraid that you won't be able to kill my master. No one in this world can kill my master. Ling Xiao pretended to be proud and said. Oh. Who is your master? I. There was a trace of disdain in the goat's eyes. It actually sat down on its hind legs and crossed its front legs in front of its chest. It raised its head and had an arrogant expression on its face. If my master tells you, you'll be scared to death. Old goat, let me tell you. My master is the legendary sky-devouring supreme, the strongest person in the world. Ling Xiao laughed in his heart, but his face was full of arrogance. I said, don't call me old goat. What did you say? Your master is sky-devouring supreme. The goat was enraged. Just as he was about to explode, his ears twitched. His eyes were filled with disbelief. Young man, do you know who sky-devouring supreme is? How could he accept you as his disciple? With your weak cultivation, he won't even take a second look at you. The goat said disdainfully. He looked at Ling Xiao from the corner of his eyes. Old goat, sky-devouring supreme is really my master. You know about the immortal drunken wine, right? Only my master knows how to brew it. If I'm not his disciple, how can I brew it? Also, look at what this is. Ling Xiao smiled faintly. His body shone brightly. A golden lotus floated out from his body, emitting a beautiful light. This is the sky-devouring golden lotus. You've cultivated the sky-devouring golden lotus to this level. You're really his disciple. Do you know where he is? There was a hint of shock in the goat's eyes, and he immediately became excited. He quickly ran over and hugged Ling Xiao's leg. He raised his head, and his eyes were filled with excitement. Ling Xiao felt a warmth in his heart. Although this old goat was arrogant and black-bellied, he was genuinely worried about him. However, Ling Xiao did not intend to reveal his true identity. After all, being reborn was no small matter. Ling Xiao subconsciously felt that this was a secret that could only be kept to himself. I don't know where he went either. I'm a disciple of the longevity sect. There's a statue of my master in the longevity sect. I received my master's inheritance from the statue. Ling Xiao said softly. I see. He was killed by that despicable true dragon supreme. I thought he was still alive. It's been 10,000 years, he's been gone for 10,000 years, the goat seemed to have lost his soul as he mumbled to himself. There was a trace of sadness in his eyes. Looking at the goat's expression, Ling Xiao felt a little bitter. Time was the most ruthless force. It changed everything and took away all the people Ling Xiao wanted to see. The goat in front of him gave Ling Xiao a surreal feeling. It was as though he was talking to an old friend after countless years. Old goat, do you know my master? Tell me more about my master. Ling Xiao's face revealed a strange expression as he spoke slowly. Bastard, call me old goat again and I'll beat you to death. Of course I know your master. 10,000 years ago, your master and I were good friends. We went through fire and water together and shocked the world. We stepped onto the peak of martial arts and dominated the war god continent. How impressive was that? In terms of seniority, you should call me senior uncle. Take out all the immortal drunken wine you have. I'll tell you more about the sky-devouring supreme. The goat glared at Ling Xiao. When Ling Xiao mentioned the sky-devouring supreme, he immediately became enraptured. He twisted his body and pointed a hoof at the sky, looking domineering. But in the end, he still couldn't forget about the immortal drunken wine and asked Ling Xiao to take out all the immortal drunken wine. But Ling Xiao didn't refuse this time. With a warm smile, he handed a bottle of immortal drunken wine to the goat and looked at his old friend. Ling Xiao could see that although the goat looked strong and had a strong physical body, his insides were a mess. He had suffered severe injuries. If it was an ordinary person, he would have died long ago. But the goat was still alive and kicking. It was just that he had lost 80 to 90% of his strength. the sky-devouring supreme was extremely talented. Speaking of which, I was the one who discovered his talent and brought him onto the path of martial arts. The goat grabbed the bottle and took a sip happily as he talked about the sky-devouring supreme's past. Chapter 349. The old goat rambled on about how Ling Xiao rose to power and became a supreme being. Of course, there was no lack of self-praise, shamelessly claiming that he was the life mentor of the heaven-devouring supreme. Ling Xiao smiled warmly and did not interrupt him. He was like an old friend who had not seen each other for a long time. He drank the drunken immortal wine and enjoyed the cool breeze on the mountain peak. I am the elder brother of the devouring heaven supreme. If I did not teach him the devouring heaven's secret skill, how could he become the most powerful person in the world? Your master is also very respectful to me, the old goat said proudly. Oh. You are so powerful. Why aren't you in the 10 titled supreme beings? I've never heard of the heaven-devouring great emperor before. Ling Xiao said with a smile. Cough cough, the old goat's expression froze with an unnatural glint in his eyes. He became angry out of humiliation. I don't care about fame. Even though I taught the heaven-devouring supreme, I'm used to being free and unrestrained. I don't care about this empty reputation. Ling Xiao snickered in his heart. In his previous life, this old goat loved to ambush others and steal treasures from ancient tombs. Almost all of the famous sacred grounds had been visited by this old goat. Everyone hated it to the bone. It could be said that the old goat's reputation was in tatters. However, Ling Xiao did not expose him. Instead, he asked softly, "How did my master die? What happened after he died?" Ling Xiao's eyes were filled with anticipation. Perhaps he could get some information about Jin Sei from the old goat. Your master was a heaven-warping martial genius, a peerless hero who suppressed his peers. He was the most dazzling person 10,000 years ago. However, he did not know who he was and was ambushed and killed by the second-ranked Supreme True Dragon. I told him long ago that the Supreme True Dragon was not a good person, but he did not listen to me. The old goat gulped down a mouthful of wine, his eyes revealing a hint of sadness and anger. Ling Xiao smiled bitterly. The old mountain goat was not lying about this. In his previous life, he trusted the Supreme True Dragon very much and had always treated him as a brother. However, the old mountain goat did not like the Supreme True Dragon and even fought with him. It was because Ling Xiao trusted the Supreme True Dragon too much that the old goat ran to the savage demon territory in anger. That was why the Supreme True Dragon ambushed Ling Xiao. Later on, I heard that your master was ambushed and killed by that despicable True Dragon. I led the 9 demon sovereigns of the savage desolate demon region to seek revenge on True Dragon. In the end, we encountered the invasion of the otherworldly demons. The entire War God continent was plunged into misery and suffering. That battle almost destroyed the War God continent. The old goat's eyes were filled with sadness. And I was severely injured by the demonic emperor. But, where? There was a hint of disappointment in Ling Xiao's eyes. Ling Xiao smiled. Pfft. What's your name? The old goat directly spat out the immortal drunken wine in his mouth. His eyes widened in disbelief. Brat, do you know your master's name? How dare you call him Ling Xiao? You're so rebellious. The old goat pointed a trembling hoof at Ling Xiao and shouted angrily. My master's name is Ling Xiao too. My parents gave me that name. What can I do? Ling Xiao shrugged and said innocently. Bastard. How can you be called Ling Xiao? Now that I think about it, you look quite similar to that fellow. The old goat looked at Ling Xiao suspiciously. He felt that this young man before him was very similar to the sky-devouring supreme, be it in terms of appearance or temperament. Do we look alike? Maybe it's because I cultivated the sky-devouring secret technique. That's why my master and I have the same aura. Does this mean that I'll be like my master and become the #1 paragon in the world? Ling Xiao coughed lightly and laughed shamelessly. Become the #1 paragon in the world? You're still far from it. The old goat glanced at Ling Xiao and said unhappily. I'm the saint of the Changsun sect now. I'm a peerless genius of my generation. As long as I have enough time, I'll definitely be able to reach the peak and even surpass my master. Ling Xiao chuckled, his body exuding a faint aura of sharpness. You're just bragging. You actually cultivated the ancestral dragon's secret technique? The old goat sneered, but its eyes flashed as if it had discovered something extraordinary. It circled around Ling Xiao, its eyes full of excitement. The ancestral dragon's secret technique is that bastard Jinlong's treasure. Even your master only obtained a little bit of it back then. How did you cultivate the ancestral dragon's secret technique? And looking at your cultivation realm, you've already cultivated to the earth dragon constitution? The old goat's eyes lit up as he stared at Ling Xiao as if he was looking at a peerless treasure. The ancestral dragon's secret technique was passed down to me by my master. What do you want? Ling Xiao's eyes revealed a trace of vigilance. He knew this old thing the best. As long as it revealed such an expression, it meant that nothing good was going to happen. Your master passed it down to you. Could it be that he obtained the complete ancestral dragon secret technique from Jinlong later? The old goat was stunned for a moment before he laughed. He moved closer to Ling Xiao and said, Kid, let's make a deal. I'll guide you in cultivating the sky-devouring secret technique in the future, and you'll teach me the ancestral dragon secret technique. How about that? So it's after the ancestral dragon secret technique. Ling Xiao was stunned and found it funny. The old goat's origin was very mysterious. Even Ling Xiao couldn't recognize the old goat's original form. He had guessed that the old goat should be a demonic beast with an ancient bloodline. Its origin was not to be underestimated. To demonic beasts, the ancestral dragon's secret technique naturally had an unimaginable temptation. 10,000 years ago, part of the reason why the old goat didn't get along with Jinlong was because he was a good-for-nothing. He coveted Jinlong's ancestral dragon secret technique and had secretly attacked him a few times. Jinlong was naturally infuriated. Because of this, there were many battles between the two of them. It gave Ling Xiao a headache in his previous life. There's no need for that, old goat. My master has already told me how to cultivate the sky-devouring secret technique. Also, the ancestral dragon secret technique was passed down by my master and can't be passed down to outsiders. If there's nothing else, I'll take my leave first. Chapter 350. Don't go, boy. I'm your master's older brother. How could I possibly be an outsider? Years ago, your master begged me to learn it, but I refused. I had nothing better to do, so I thought I'd help you see if there were any flaws in the ancestral dragon's secret art. I'm doing this for your own good. You better know what's good for you. The old goat did not give up. He chased after Ling Xiao with his beard twitching. Whoosh! Ling Xiao moved with incredible speed, turning into a streak of golden light as he used a secret magic to teleport deeper into the Live Forever Pocket realm. The old goat's speed wasn't slow either. He stepped on an auspicious cloud and his fur was shiny like silk. He followed behind Ling Xiao and chattered endlessly, trying to trick him into getting the ancestral dragon's secret technique. Ling Xiao was amused, but he didn't relent. Even if I wanted to give you the ancestral dragon's secret art, you can't possibly cultivate it with your Dao injuries, can you, old goat? Ling Xiao said, glaring at the old goat. I can't believe you can see my Dao injuries. Not bad, boy. I really can't cultivate them right now. I need to heal my Dao injuries. Years ago, I used a forbidden move from the heaven-devouring secret art to injure the Heaven Devil Emperor. I drew on the god power of a great Dao to injure him, damaging my life force quintessence. I went into hibernation for more than 10,000 years, but all I could do was prevent my Dao injuries from worsening. The old goat's eyes flickered with surprise at Ling Xiao's ability to see his Dao injuries. Although he looked normal on the outside, and had the power of a fifth-order demon Ling, his insides were in shambles. The sealing marks of a great Tao were stuck inside of him, making it impossible for his fleshly body and cultivation base to heal. Ling Xiao could see that the old goat's life force quintessence was riddled with cracks, and his meridians were broken. If it weren't for the fact that the old goat had cultivated the heaven-devouring secret art to a higher level than Ling Xiao's, as well as the King Heaven-Devourer cauldron, he would have long since been reduced to ash. I'll take you to a place where the golden wind and jade dew can help heal your Tao injuries. Ling Xiao said with a faint smile. What? Golden wind and jade dew? The Live Forever Pocket Realm has golden wind and jade dew? The old goat's body shook, and his eyes revealed a look of pleasant surprise. The words golden wind and jade dew seemed to have a strange magic to it. The golden wind was the power of the Great Path Law, and the jade dew was the power of the essence of the gods. The golden wind and jade dew was a kind of energy formed from the god's corpse after the death of the ancient gods under the influence of the Great Path Law after countless years of changes. The golden wind and jade dew was incomparably precious, especially to martial artists who cultivated their bodies. It could allow one to be reborn, cultivate a supreme Tao body, fill one's life source, and possess a terrifying physical body comparable to that of a divine beast. If he had the golden wind and jade dew, it would be of great help to the old goat's Tao injury, even if it couldn't be completely healed. That's right. There is a golden wind and jade dew pond in the Longevity Secret Realm. It has not been collected for 10,000 years. I believe there should be a lot of golden wind and jade dew in there. It should be enough for us to cultivate. Ling Xiao's eyes also revealed a trace of excitement. The golden wind jade dew pool was one of the main reasons he had come to the depths of the Longevity Secret Zone. It was also the foundation for him to continue improving his physical strength and complete his Earth Dragon body. Good lad, you are not bad. You are to my liking. When I recover my cultivation, I will bring you to the War God continent to see the true peerless geniuses. The old goat laughed, raised his hooves, and knocked on Ling Xiao's arm. His face was full of smiles. A man and a goat flew across the sky, crossing one majestic mountain range after another, and finally arrived at a swamp. The swamp was filled with fog. The surroundings looked very peaceful, but there was a faint sense of danger. Lad, someone is following us. The old goat knocked on Ling Xiao with his hooves and said softly. I know. They are all my enemies. Since they want to die, I will fulfill their wish. Ling Xiao smiled faintly, and a trace of coldness flashed in his eyes. Hee, if those fellows do not know what is good for them, I do not mind teaching them an unforgettable lesson. The old goat laughed, and a faint light flashed in his eyes. Although the aura behind him was faint, Ling Xiao could easily sense that it was the people of the Wanshou sect. Ling Xiao and the old goat landed in the middle of the swamp and arrived in front of a very ordinary-looking puddle. Is the golden wind jade dew pond here? The old goat was a little surprised. He did not feel any fluctuations from the array. That's right. It is here. Previously, it was sealed underground by my master's array. I wonder how much golden wind jade dew there has been in the past tens of thousands of years. Ling Xiao's eyes showed a trace of anticipation. Buzz! Ling Xiao's hands emitted a bright light, and mysterious runes flew out. Then, he formed a seal with his hands, and runes fell in all directions. A mysterious aura spread out, as if it was resonating because of the seals formed by Ling Xiao's hands. Rumble! The puddle in front of them actually cracked open, and a vast aura was emitted from it. Endless earth energy rose, and a bright golden light spewed out. A brilliant golden pond slowly rose from the ground. It was ancient and vicissitudes of life, and a majestic aura spread out. Ling Xiao could see that although the golden pond was only 100 feet wide, it was modeled and ancient, and there was a mysterious power of law flowing around it. The golden pond did not look regular, as if some kind of golden bone had been hollowed out to form the golden pond. What excited Ling Xiao the most was that there was a wisp of golden mist rising from the golden pond, and there was a thin layer of liquid in the golden pond that contained vast and majestic energy fluctuations. Golden Wind Jade Dew. This was the Golden Wind Jade Dew. Ling Xiao and the old goat were very excited, and they stared at the golden pond without moving. Swoosh! 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 At this moment, a few powerful sonic booms came through the air and landed in front of Ling Xiao. It was a group of experts with cold auras. They were both young and old, and they all looked at Ling Xiao with cold murderous intent. They also looked at the Golden Wind Jade Dew Pond with excitement. Ha ha ha! Ling Xiao, I didn't think that there would be such a precious golden pond here. As repayment, I'll give you a quick death. I won't let you die so quickly. An old laugh sounded, and an old man in the lead walked out, emitting a majestic aura all over, causing the void to tremble slightly. Beside the old man, there was a middle-aged man with killing intent on his face. He stared at Ling Xiao with a cold expression. Su Yangcheng and He Qing. Ling Xiao recognized these two people at a glance. Chapter 351. One Show Sect? What? Tiger King's death didn't teach you a lesson? Ling Xiao glanced at Su Yangcheng and He Qing as he spoke. Those from the Wild Blade sect were there as well. Ling Xiao understood that the Wild Blade sect must have been upset that Ling Xiao had stolen Wolf King's demonic pearl, so they went to the Wan Shou sect to ask for help. It was this group of people who had followed Ling Xiao. The sect leader of the Wild Blade sect, Wang Jiandong, really made Ling Xiao think highly of him. He knew when to yield and when to stand tall. Knowing that he wasn't Ling Xiao's match, he simply lowered his head and went to look for the Wan Shou sect, wanting to borrow a knife to kill Ling Xiao. However, it was a pity that Ling Xiao was no pushover. After hearing Ling Xiao's words, Su Yangcheng and He Qing's faces darkened. Their eyes were filled with murderous intent, especially Su Yangcheng. As a half-step noble realm expert, it was a great humiliation for him to let Ling Xiao kill Tiger King in front of him. Because of Tiger King's death, the Wan Shou sect lost a genius. Su Yangcheng was scolded by the sect leader, which made him hate Ling Xiao even more. Little bastard, you can talk all you want. Without Xia Huang and the rest, I'll see who can save you today. Su Yangcheng stared coldly at Ling Xiao and said word by word. I don't need anyone to save me. I'll bet that you can't kill me. Ling Xiao smiled faintly. You're just a half-step noble realm ant. How dare you be so arrogant in front of me? When I'm at my peak, I can kill you with a breath. The old goat crossed its two hooves in front of its chest and looked at Su Yangcheng with disdain. It had a very arrogant appearance. Who are you? A rank 5 goat can actually talk. Su Yangcheng's gaze turned cold. He was also a little surprised. The old goat looked like it was only at the 5th step of cultivation, but it could actually speak human language. You're the goat. Your whole family are goats. I've been through the ages and swallowed the heavens and the earth. I'm the sky-devouring emperor. Why don't you kneel before me? The goat was so angry that he jumped up and pointed at Su Yangcheng with his hooves. Emperor? What an arrogant tone. A goat demon dares to be so arrogant. A pet should have the self-awareness of a pet. Otherwise, if you offend someone you shouldn't, you won't even know how you died. Su Yangcheng glanced at the goat, his eyes blazing with killing intent. Legend has it that in ancient times, the great emperor was the lord of the gods, the lord of the myriad worlds. He controlled the cycle of life, death, and reincarnation and was omnipotent. At the end of the ancient mythological era, there was a great war between the gods. The great emperor had long since disappeared, and even the gods had left this world. A mere rank 5 goat actually dared to call itself emperor. This made Su Yangcheng feel both amused and hateful. This goat's mouth was really asking for a beating. Who are you calling a pet? Your ancestor is a pet. Half of your body is already in the ground, but you're still only half a step away from the noble plane. You've wasted your entire life. Get your ass over here. I guarantee that I'll beat you up so badly that even your mother won't be able to recognize you. The word pet infuriated the goat, causing all the black fur on its body to stand on end. It glared at Su Yangqing with an unfriendly expression and said angrily, "Bastard, you're courting death." A cold light flashed across Su Yangqing's eyes, and he immediately slapped at the goat. Boom! Su Yangqing's angry attack carried the momentum of heaven and earth and contained unparalleled power. The palm print swept across the sky and pressed down like a divine mountain. Even Ling Xiao's eyes revealed a trace of sharpness. This was the power of heaven and earth's will. It could dominate heaven and earth and control one's own body. Zhou Tian was a noble plane. With Ling Xiao's current strength, he was no match for Su Yangqing at all. Are you serious? Old bastard, you hit me just because you can't win an argument. You're really a bastard. The old goat let out a strange cry and wanted to escape. However, how could Su Yangqing's palm be so easily dodged? Suddenly, the palm landed on the old goat's body. Vast divine power gushed out, and the old goat was sent flying hundreds of meters away by Su Yangqing's palm. Old bastard, if I wasn't severely injured, I would have slapped you to death with one slap. Just you wait. When I recover my cultivation, I'll visit your ancestral grave. The old goat said in exasperation. Su Yangqing was shocked and angry. He was shocked that he could not kill a rank 5 goat with one slap even though he was half a step away from the noble plane. Moreover, the old goat did not seem to be injured at all. His body was still smooth and shiny. Where did this old goat come from? You're courting death. The old goat's words ignited Su Yangqing's anger. He pointed his finger at the old goat with a sharpness that could pierce through everything. Again. Old bastard, do you have any shame? Ouch. It hurts. The old goat shrieked in fear. He could not dodge Su Yangqing's attack and was hit by Su Yangqing's finger. He screamed in pain and flew dozens of meters away. Su Yangqing looked at the old goat and was so angry that his nose was about to become crooked. The old goat kept shrieking, but there was not a single injury on his body. His fur was like silk and emitted a faint spiritual light. He howled in pain but was not injured at all. Ling Xiao had a faint smile on his face. The old goat had already cultivated the Heaven Devourer cauldron. Although his Dao injuries were severe, he had once formed a paragon body. Su Yangqing could not hurt him, and the cauldron had already absorbed the energy. Little bastard, pay with your life for my son's sake. Murderous intent flashed in He Qing's eyes. His expression was ferocious as he pulled out a glittering longsword and charged towards Ling Xiao. Brat, hurry up and think of something. If this goes on, we won't be a match for these guys. The old goat flew to Ling Xiao's side and said with a long face. Let's go to the Golden Wind Jade Dew Pond. Ling Xiao smiled and ignored Su Yangqing and He Qing. Instead, he pulled the old goat and flew toward the Golden Wind Jade Dew Pond. Stop him. Su Yangqing and the others' eyes flashed. Although they did not know what Ling Xiao was planning, the Golden Wind Jade Dew Pond was a precious treasure that could not fall into his hands. Ruyuumble. Su Yangqing attacked with incredible speed, sending a dazzling beam of light toward Ling Xiao and the old goat, hoping to cut them down and prevent them from entering the Golden Wind Jade Dew Pond. The beam of light pierced through Ling Xiao, but Su Yangqing quickly realized that it was only an afterimage. The real Ling Xiao had already flown into the Golden Wind Jade Dew Pond with the old goat. Whiz! The Golden Wind Jade Dew Pond shone with a dazzling golden light that wrapped around Ling Xiao and the old goat. Su Yangqing and He Qing's attacks hit the surface of the pond, causing ripples to spread out. However, they were incapable of entering the pond. Attack the pond and kill Ling Xiao and the old goat. Chapter 352. Rumble. The golden wind jade dew pond trembled slightly as runes spread out. A divine light enchantment like water blocked Su Yangqing's attack. Ripples appeared on the barrier and it began to tremble slightly as if it would break at any moment. There's so much golden wind jade dew. After entering the golden wind jade dew pool, Ling Xiao and the old goat's eyes were filled with excitement. Golden and dense wind filled the golden wind jade dew pool. It was as if the amber dew had sunk to the bottom of the pool. Although it was only a thin layer, it contained extremely terrifying power. Under the influence of the laws of heaven and earth, the god's corpse turned into golden wind jade dew. It was the power of heaven and earth and contained an extremely mysterious power. After tens of thousands of years of nurturing, the amount of golden wind jade dew pool made Ling Xiao and the old goat extremely happy. Kid, although the golden wind jade dew pool has a barrier, it doesn't look very strong. It can't withstand the attack of a noble realm expert. Aren't you afraid that those old bastards outside will break the barrier? The golden wind jade dew pool trembled. Hearing the voice from outside, the old goat's eyes turned solemn. What's there to be afraid of? If they want to break through the boundary of the golden wind jade dew pond, even a noble realm expert would need a day. One day is enough for me to do a lot of things. Plus, if they can't break the barrier, it won't be fun. Ling Xiao chuckled as a trace of coldness appeared in his eyes. Since the people of the Wanshou sect were so persistent, he didn't mind teaching them an unforgettable lesson. You're right. With so much golden wind jade dew, it's enough for my Dao injury to recover a little. Then I'll kill that old bastard. The old goat snorted as he looked at Su Yangqing with displeasure in his eyes. Although Su Yangqing's attack couldn't hurt him, the old goat was the sky-devouring emperor. When had he ever suffered such a loss? Buzz! The old goat sat down with his hind legs crossed like a human. He placed his front legs in front of him and formed a seal with his hooves. He looked like a three-legged cauldron and exuded a mysterious aura. A golden divine light pervaded the air. The old goat had a dignified appearance. Its black fur emitted a golden radiance. A cauldron with 3 legs and 2 handles slowly floated up into appearance between its 2 hooves. It was dazzling with golden light, and it was ancient and mysterious. The mouth of the cauldron sprayed with divine light, and it was like a mysterious vortex in the sea of stars that erupted with an extremely powerful suction force. Rumble. The golden wind jade dew pool turned into a divine light storm and rushed towards the mouth of the cauldron. King Cauldron. Ling Xiao's body trembled, and a glint appeared in his eyes. The golden wind jade cauldron was the cauldron in his previous life. Was the golden wind jade dew pool's cauldron. The sky-devouring golden lotus was already very terrifying. Not only could it devour spirit qi, but it could also devour true qi, demonic qi, fiend qi, and other types of energy in the bodies of living beings. But the king heaven-devouring cauldron could devour anything and everything. It could even steal longevity, destiny, and latent talent. In his previous life, Ling Xiao had been a mortal, but in the end, he had become a natural-born god spirit. That was because he had used the king heaven-devouring cauldron to devour the latent talent and destiny of countless chosen. The king heaven-devouring cauldron was the foundation of his Tao, and also his greatest reliance in his previous life. Therefore, when he saw the king heaven-devouring cauldron, he couldn't help but sigh. Once my fleshly body power reaches the perfect level, I can use the 9 heavens spirit-melting grass and other precious materials to break through to the flying dragon body. When that happens, not even Su Yangqing will be a match for me. Eyes glittering, Ling Xiao sat down cross-legged in the middle of the golden wind jade dew pool. Rumble. Powerful heaven-devouring true qi permeated the air. Wisps of golden wind swept across the sky and diffused into Ling Xiao's body. Drops of raindrops melted and began to nourish Ling Xiao's body. The metal wind was the power of the Great Path. After it entered Ling Xiao's body was originally pure and flawless. His divine flesh and bones emitted a jade-like luster without any impurities. However, under the scouring of the wind, traces of black impurities emerged. The golden wind was as sharp as a blade, filled with explosive power. It was like heavenly lightning that began to temper Ling Zhao's flesh, bones, and meridians. It was almost as if Ling Zhao's fleshly body was made of iron, and was being burned by fire and tempered by a hammer. It was using intense methods to grind away at the impurities. The pain was so intense that it felt like it was tearing Ling Zhao to pieces, and yet, he was able to maintain his clarity of mind. Ling Zhao sat cross-legged in the middle of the endless golden wind. In the face of such extreme pain, he did not even frown. His face was still calm, and a faint smile hung on his lips, as if he was a merciful Buddha. The jade dew nourished everything silently, and as it entered Ling Zhao's body, it began to heal the wounds in the places that the golden wind had destroyed. It was like a phoenix bathing in fire, and Ling Zhao's fleshly body became stronger and stronger. Crack! Cracks even began to appear on Ling Zhao's body. The golden wind seeped out of the cracks, and its sharpness was unparalleled, as if it wanted to shatter Ling Zhao's fleshly body completely. However, as the heaven-devouring true energy surged, a golden lotus floated above Ling Zhao's head, and rays of divine light fell from it. It was dazzling, and turned into runes to maintain the vitality in Ling Zhao's body. Just like that, under the destruction of the golden wind and the nourishment of the jade dew, Ling Zhao's fleshly body began to slowly strengthen. After all, the golden wind and jade dew pool contained the laws of great Tao and the essence of gods. It was not something that ordinary people could endure. 10,000 years ago, when the longevity sect was obtained, only noble realm cultivators or even monarch realm cultivators dared to use the golden wind and jade dew to temper their fleshly body and forge a supreme battle constitution. However, Ling Zhao's fleshly body was already extremely strong. With the body of the earth dragon, Ling Zhao's fleshly body was comparable to a peak 6th rank monster. Compared to a noble realm cultivator, he only lacked the tempering of the world's will. The fleshly body forged with the golden wind and jade dew had the effects of the laws of great Tao. Some of the flaws that Ling Zhao did not notice when he cultivated the secret technique of the ancestral dragon began to be fixed, and it became perfect. Those small flaws did not seem like much now, but in the future, it was very likely that they would become bottlenecks that would shackle Ling Zhao from reaching the peak. Therefore, the golden wind and jade dew was no different from a great fortune to Ling Zhao. Rumble. Outside the golden wind and jade dew pool, the space trembled, and ripples spread out from the barrier like ripples. Those runes were like candlelight in the wind, flickering as if they would shatter at any moment. Damn it! What kind of treasure is this golden wind and jade dew pool? Why is there such a powerful barrier? Su Liangcheng, He Qing, and the others became slightly anxious after attacking for a long time without success. They did not know what fortuitous encounter Ling Zhao had obtained in the golden wind, and the longer this dragged on, the more disadvantageous it would be for them. He Qing, summon the experts of the myriad beasts sect. No matter what, we must kill Ling Zhao today. Chapter 353. Boom! A dazzling firework shot up into the sky and exploded in the sky, forming the shadow of a giant beast that shook the heavens. Is that the 1,000 miles of mist? This is an emergency summon from the Wanshou sect. Let's go and take a look. Could it be that they have encountered a strong enemy? Who dares to touch the people of the Wanshou sect? Kill without mercy. Some of the disciples of the Wanshou sect raised their heads and looked at the shadow of the giant beast in the sky. Their eyes were filled with shock. Swoosh! Swoosh! Many powerful figures soared into the sky and flew towards the direction where the 1,000 miles of mist exploded. In the Desolation Mountains, a beautiful figure covered in red flames flew across the sky. It was the Phoenix Girl of the Wanshou sect. When the 1,000 miles of mist exploded in the sky, she happened to be within the range of the explosion. Her eyes were filled with surprise. Only the elders of the sect can have such a level of 1,000 miles of mist. Could it be that something big has happened? The Phoenix Girl's eyes flashed. She stepped on the clouds and flew towards the direction of the explosion. A golden void war chariot charged out from a boiling lava lake. It gave off a vast and ancient aura. There were countless ancient runes on it, making it look very mysterious. The chariot was ancient and made of mysterious metal. There were mysterious runes and patterns on it, but some parts were broken. Golden light gushed out, as if there was a golden sun supporting the chariot. It breathed in the essence of heaven and earth, majestic and domineering. Ha ha ha. Second uncle, this secret realm of immortality is really a good place. I didn't expect there to be a flame spiritual spring in the lava lake. My cultivation has finally reached level 9 of the master realm. Zhao Ritian sat on the void chariot, his black hair draped behind his head. His face was handsome and his eyes were filled with pride. He exuded an extremely powerful aura. I say, Ritian, look at you. What is a mere level 9 of the master realm to you? This secret realm of immortality is not ordinary. There must be countless precious treasures. As long as you are obedient, I promise you that you can break through to the celestial realm or even the noble realm. An old voice came from Zhao Ritian's body. Really? Thank you, second uncle. You are the best to me. Zhao Ritian's eyes lit up. His eyes were filled with excitement. Second master, with this emperor war chariot, even if it is a celestial realm elite, I can kill him. It's a pity that the emperor's war chariot is already damaged. It can only unleash the power of a low-grade Dao artifact. Zhao Ritian caressed the ancient war chariot and looked at the broken runes and cracks on it. His eyes were filled with pain. You should be content. If it's a complete emperor chariot, it's a peerless grade Taoist instrument. If you're not a noble realm expert, you won't be able to activate the peerless grade Taoist instrument's power. Second uncle said snappily. Zhao Ritian nodded. Suddenly, he thought of something and asked, Second master, with my current strength and the emperor chariot, can I beat that bastard Ling Xiao? Zhao Ritian's words choked the second elder. He thought for a while and said, I advise you not to provoke Ling Xiao. That kid is very strange. Even I can't see through him. What's there to be afraid of? Could it be that he has 3 heads and 6 arms? If I really meet him, I'd like to see if he's a match for me. Zhao Ritian smiled proudly and said nonchalantly. Rumble. Right at this moment, a dazzling firework exploded in the void, and the projection of a giant beast appeared. It's the 1,000 miles of cloud from the Wanshou sect. This is strange. Why is the Wanshou sect gathering elites? Could it be that they have found some kind of treasure? Zhao Ritian's eyes lit up. He immediately drove the emperor chariot across the sky. At the Golden Wind Jade Dew Pool, Ling Xiao and the old goat were still cultivating. They were being tortured by the golden wind and nourished by the jade dew. They did not care about the people outside who were attacking the spiritual barrier. Outside the Golden Wind Jade Dew Pool, many elites had gathered. Not only were there disciples from the Wanshou sect, but there were also many elites from smaller sects and ancient families. After sensing the presence of the 1,000 miles of cloud, they all rushed over. Among them was the first prince of the great Huang ancient country, Huang Haifeng. Huang Haifeng walked over with majestic steps. Behind him was a shriveled old servant. He looked as if half of his body was already in the ground. His entire body was lethargic. However, when he opened his eyes, there was a hint of sharpness that made one's heart palpitate. The Phoenix woman had also arrived. As the pride of the 8 Desolation region and the goddess in everyone's heart, the arrival of the Phoenix woman had caused many young warriors to be excited. Their eyes were filled with passion. Other than the Phoenix woman, there was also a young man in black armor standing beside He Qing. His aura was very wild. The young man looked very handsome. He was tall and slender. His hair fluttered in the wind. There seemed to be a black vortex in his eyes that made people not dare to look at him directly. He stood there, exuding a heavy and ancient aura. He was like a divine mountain, unmoving like a mountain. Black Tortoise, you're here. Just nice. Your river diagram is a treasure that can break arrays. See if it can break the spiritual barrier of the Golden Wind Jade Dew Pool. After Su Liangcheng and He Qing saw that young man, their eyes revealed incomparably pleasantly surprised expressions. Among the 10,000 beasts 7 scions, the strongest were naturally the Dragon Son and Phoenix Woman. Ranked third was the Turtle Son, the Black Tortoise, which was this young man in black armor. There were even people who said that the reason why the Black Tortoise was ranked third was because he usually kept a low profile. His true combat strength should be about the same as the Phoenix Woman, and not much worse than the Dragon Son. Because the Black Tortoise's cultivation was the same as the Phoenix Woman, also at the second level of the Heaven Realm. Is Ling Xiao really in this Golden Wind Jade Dew Pool? The Black Tortoise's eyes revealed a trace of sharpness as he said indifferently. He Qing was slightly taken aback. He nodded and said, "That's right. Ling Xiao is already trapped in the Golden Wind Jade Dew Pool. As long as we break the spiritual barrier, not only can we obtain the treasure inside, but we can also kill Ling Xiao and avenge the Tiger King." He Qing could see the killing intent in the Black Tortoise's eyes. Among the 10,000 beasts 7 scions, the Tiger King and the Black Tortoise had the best relationship. They were practically as close as brothers. The Tiger King dying in Ling Xiao's hands, the one who was most furious was the Black Tortoise. It was just that the Black Tortoise did not find the opportunity to enter the longevity mystic realm. Now that he knew Ling Xiao's whereabouts, he naturally would not let Ling Xiao go. All right. Since that's the case, let him be buried with the Tiger King. The Black Tortoise said indifferently, the killing intent in his eyes was bone-chilling. Rumble. A vast and heavy aura exploded. The Black Tortoise took a step forward, causing the earth to shake. The vast innate qi around his body was like the waves of the sea, boundless and unparalleled. Chapter 354. That's the legendary river diagram? Someone's eyes flashed, revealing a trace of shock. The river diagram was a powerful doctrine artifact. Legend had it that it was refined by the Black Tortoise during the ancient times. However, after so many years, it was only a lower-grade doctrine artifact. The river diagram was an array-breaking treasure. It contained the mysteries of array Dao and could even absorb people into it. It was extremely powerful. The Black Tortoise has made his move. With the river diagram in hand, the bounded boundary will definitely be broken. I heard that Ling Xiao is hiding inside. I'm afraid he's a turtle in a jar. He's dead meat. Someone's eyes flashed as he whispered. That's right. Ling Xiao is too arrogant. He's just a level 1 grandmaster. Although he has some talent, how dare he challenge the Wanshou sect? Without Xia Huang and the rest to back him up, he's dead meat. The Wanshou sect will definitely not let him go. I heard that the Black Tortoise and the Tiger King are good friends. The Black Tortoise must be trying to avenge the Tiger King. Hee, this is going to be a good show. Everyone had different expressions on their faces. Their eyes were fixed on the Golden Wind Jade Dew Pond as they looked forward to what was going to happen next. Buzz. The river diagram appeared in the void and spread out. It turned into a huge scroll that was 100 feet long. It was ancient and mysterious. The mountains, rivers, lakes, suns, moons, and stars in the scroll seemed to have come alive. They emitted dazzling light and fell from the scroll. They intertwined with each other like divine chains of order and stretched toward the Golden Wind Jade Dew Pond. Boom! Countless threads filled the air as if they were the laws of heaven and earth. The bounded boundary outside the Golden Wind Jade Dew Pond started to buzz and tremble. Then, ripples appeared and it started to fluctuate violently. Everyone could see with their naked eyes that numerous small cracks had appeared on the bounded boundary. The cracks were getting bigger and bigger, and it seemed like the bounded boundary was going to break. The bounded boundary is going to be broken. Everyone's eyes lit up and they were suddenly energized. Su Liangcheng and He Qing's eyes were cold and sharp. They stared at the golden wind jade dew pond and wanted to find Ling Xiao as soon as possible. Rumble. The river diagram emitted a gentle light. The intertwining divine chains of order seemed to have instantly captured the weakness of the enchantment and began to make the gap in the enchantment bigger and bigger. In the end, the barrier outside the golden wind jade dew pond shattered like cracked glass. A faint golden wind pervaded the air, and the resplendent dew worked, revealing the figures of Ling Xiao and the old goat. It really is Ling Xiao. Everyone's eyes flashed as they saw the young man sitting cross-legged in the golden wind jade dew pool. It was Ling Xiao. What is that? The golden wind is like the dew of amber. It must be an incomparably precious heavenly treasure. Someone exclaimed when he saw the golden wind and jade dew. His eyes were filled with excitement. Although they didn't recognize the origin of the golden wind and morning dew, everyone knew that this was definitely a supreme treasure when they saw the brilliant divine light flowing in the golden treasure pool and the mysterious power of laws contained within it. Is that a goat? Heavens, such a treasure was actually ruined by a goat? Ling Xiao is really a prodigal son. How can he let a goat ruin such a treasure? Someone saw the goat opposite Ling Xiao open its mouth and swallow the golden wind and jade dew. The goat's face revealed a human-like expression of intoxication. Immediately, someone pounded his chest and stamped his feet with a pained expression. Ling Xiao, get out here. Su Yangcheng's eyes flashed and he immediately sent a palm strike towards Ling Xiao. He also saw that the golden wind and jade dew was a good item, so he didn't plan to give Ling Xiao any chance to become stronger. This palm strike encompassed both Ling Xiao and the old goat, wanting to force them out. Old bastard, it's you again. Do you really think this emperor doesn't dare to kill you? The old goat's eyes suddenly opened and 2 rays of golden divine light shot out. It was majestic and mysterious. However, in the next moment, the old goat's face revealed a flustered and exasperated expression, destroying that majestic image. He pointed at Su Yangcheng and cursed loudly. Boom! The old goat stomped with its hoof, causing the void to tremble. It was as if a black thunderbolt had exploded in the void and instantly stomped on Su Yangcheng's palm. A monstrous divine power came and Su Yangcheng's expression changed. He immediately took a few steps back and his eyes revealed a look of extreme shock. He felt his arm go numb. The power of this palm strike was completely nullified by the old goat. Moreover, that despicable goat was still sitting in the golden wind and jade dew pond as if it wasn't affected at all. Just before Ling Xiao and the old goat entered the golden wind and jade dew pond, the old goat wasn't Su Yangcheng's match. Although his skin was rough, Su Yangcheng still beat him until he covered his head and ran away like a rat. However, after a short period of time, the old goat actually had the ability to match Su Yangcheng's strength. This was too unbelievable. It's because of the golden wind and jade dew. Su Yangcheng's eyes flashed and revealed an extremely greedy expression. If he could obtain the golden wind and jade dew, he might be able to break through to the noble realm. He had to obtain the golden wind and jade dew. However, the others weren't stupid either. They all stared at the golden wind and jade dew with burning eyes. Their chi was bursting out as if they were going to snatch it at any time. At this moment, Ling Xiao woke up from his cultivation. His eyes were like lightning, piercing through the void. His entire body exuded a mysterious and vast dragon might. He was like a humanoid true dragon, extremely powerful. Ling Xiao's cultivation was still at the 2nd level of the Grandmaster realm. His secret skill of the ancestral dragon was still at the 2nd level of the earth dragon body. Although there was no improvement, Ling Xiao was clearly different now. His body was flawless and his skin exuded a jade-like luster. His clothes were whiter than snow and his black hair was flying. Standing in the golden wind and jade dew pond, he was surrounded by golden divine light. His eyes were even brighter than the stars. Even Ling Xiao's enemies couldn't help but praise him. This was a perfect young man. It was as if he had obtained the fortune of heaven and earth, making people go crazy with jealousy. Buzz! Ling Xiao waved his hand and the remaining golden wind and jade dew flew into the jade gourd that he had prepared beforehand. Bastard, what are you doing? Ling Xiao, put down the golden wind and jade dew. Ling Xiao, hand over the golden wind and jade dew. Otherwise, you will die without a burial place. The experts who coveted the golden wind and jade dew were instantly enraged and scolded Ling Xiao one after another. Ling Xiao, hand over the golden wind and jade dew and I can make the decision to give you a quick death. Otherwise, when you fall into my hands, you will know what it means to beg for death. Su Yangqing stood out. His eyes were cold and his voice contained a cold murderous intent. He was determined to obtain the golden wind and jade dew. This was related to his martial arts path and his great opportunity to break through to the noble realm. Whoever dared to stop him would be his enemy. Chapter 355. Ling Xiao put away the golden wind and morning dew and instantly became the target of public criticism. What angered them the most was that Ling Xiao had taken away the golden wind and morning dew when he couldn't even protect himself. He was courting death. The golden wind and morning dew is right here. Come and get it yourself if you dare. Ling Xiao smiled faintly as he looked at the crowd with sparkling eyes. A bunch of bastards. How dare you covet what's mine? Are you tired of living? The old goat glared at the crowd and roared. The old goat had tasted the sweetness of the golden wind and morning dew pond. The golden wind and morning dew contained the power of the great path law and had miraculous effects on its Tao injury. If they had not breached the barrier, the goat would have been able to use the golden wind and morning dew to heal its Tao injury. Therefore, the appearance of these people made the old goat very angry, especially now that they were eyeing the golden wind and morning dew. They had touched the old goat's reverse scale. What's that? A goat? A goat dares to yell at us. You're courting death. Ling Xiao is already arrogant enough. I didn't expect his pet to be even more arrogant. How dare it call itself emperor? Does it really think that it's an ancient shifter emperor? Everyone was stunned for a moment, and then they were enraged. Boom! Su Yangqing exuded a powerful aura that pressed down on Ling Xiao. He stepped in the air and the will of heaven and earth exploded. It was filled with a heavenly aura that made everyone's heart palpitate. Ling Xiao, I'll give you one last chance. Hand over the golden wind and morning dew or die. Su Yangqing's voice was cold as he stared at Ling Xiao. Old bastard, do you believe that I'll bite you to death? How dare you be so arrogant when you're only a half step to the noble plane? I could kill a bunch of people like you with a single breath back then. The old goat looked at Su Yangqing with disdain. Good, very good. If that's the case, I'll send you to hell. Su Yangqing's eyes were filled with murderous intent as a terrifying aura exploded around him. He slammed his palm down on Ling Xiao and the old goat. The palm print was vast and contained a powerful heavenly aura. It was as if the world had been turned upside down. It was unavoidable and one could only face it. Old bastard, I'll send you to see your grandfather. The old goat coldly snorted and immediately kicked Su Yangqing's palm. It instantly became 10,000 feet large and collided with Su Yangqing's palm. Rumble. The void trembled as the huge palm shattered. The old goat turned into a black beam of light with extreme speed. Its hooves were aimed at Su Yangqing's face. Su Yangqing's eyes revealed a look of shock and anger. His nose was about to become crooked from anger. This bastard goat's move was very wretched. One of its hooves was aimed at his face, while the other was aimed at his crotch. If that part of his body was hit, Su Yangqing's entire body shuddered as he felt his lower body turn cold. Bang! Su Yangqing's palm slashed down and collided with the old goat's attack. At the same time, bright runes filled his palm and turned into several bolts of light. He wanted to grab the old goat's hooves and kill it. Boom! There seemed to be a layer of black runes on the old goat's hooves. They instantly broke free from Su Yangcheng's palm and turned into countless shadows that smashed towards Su Yangcheng. "Old bastard, take my goat emperor fist." The old goat roared as its eyes darted around. Its blood boiled as it exuded a vast physical strength that seemed to be able to crush the sky. Su Yangcheng was shocked. He immediately unleashed the power of a half-step noble. Innate divine shield surrounded him as he prepared to deal with the old goat's attack. However, the thunderous attack that he expected did not come. The old goat made a feint and turned around, pointing its butt at Su Yangcheng. "What?" Su Yangcheng's eyes flashed as he suddenly had a bad feeling. Rumble. Like a thunderous explosion, a heavenly river burst. An earth-shattering sound was heard as a black gas spread out and enveloped Su Yangcheng. The old goat actually farted at Su Yangcheng. Su Yangcheng's body stiffened and his face twisted as if he had seen a ghost. He let out a shrill scream. Ah! The old goat's fart shattered Su Yangcheng's protective aura. The stench was indescribable, as if it was the filthiest thing in the world. It caused Su Yangcheng's body to churn as if his organs were about to fall out. Clang! At this moment, the wretched old goat found an opportunity. Taking advantage of the moment Su Yangcheng was distracted, it immediately kicked Su Yangcheng's face with its hoof. That peerless divine power exploded, and Su Yangcheng felt as if he was struck by lightning. Half of his face swelled up, and his flesh was badly mutilated. How terrifying was the old goat's physical body! This was a supreme demon sovereign from 10,000 years ago. Although his Dao injuries were severe, a single stomp from him was enough to topple a mountain, let alone Su Yangcheng. Pfft! Su Yangcheng spat out a mouthful of blood as his face burned with pain. The old goat's fart made him cry. It was simply an eyesore. Su Yangcheng's lungs were about to explode from anger. His eyes were filled with incomparable resentment. He was the Grand Elder of the Wanshou sect. Normally, other than the sect master and the supreme elders, even the 7 disciples of the Wanshou sect were very respectful to him. When had he ever suffered such humiliation? Especially when he was bullied by a goat. If this were to spread, it would be a great humiliation. Countless people would mock and ridicule him. Everyone was dumbfounded by what they saw. Who would have thought that the wretched old goat's strength would be so terrifying? Even Su Yangcheng suffered a great loss in its hands. Could it be that the old goat is a demon king? Someone thought of a possibility and said with a trembling voice. Very likely. Have you ever seen a demon beast that can speak? I heard that only after breaking through to the demon king realm and refining the hyoid bone to take human form can they speak. I think this old goat is a demon king. A white-haired old man said with a solemn look in his eyes. When they thought of this possibility, everyone's expression became even more serious. There was even a trace of panic. If the old goat was really a demon king, they would be courting death if they dared to have any ideas about Ling Xiao. Rumble. At this moment, an ancient scroll suddenly unfolded in the void. It emitted a vast and ancient aura. Mountains, rivers, lakes, the sun, the moon, and the stars were like another world. It instantly enveloped the old goat. Is that the river diagram? Chapter 356. Black Tortoise made his move. He wore black armor and his long hair fluttered in the wind. His body was slender and strong, and his eyes flashed with a cold light. The river diagram flew into the sky and wrapped around the old goat, keeping it inside. Bastard from the Wanshou sect, how dare you sneak attack me? The old goat was planning to stomp on Su Yangcheng's head again. It didn't notice that someone was going to attack it. As a result, the river diagram wrapped around it in an instant. The old goat was so angry that it cursed loudly. However, it disappeared in a flash. Whoosh! The river diagram emitted a bright light and turned into a red cloak. It fell from the sky and covered Black Tortoise. The red cloak was like a flame with mysterious symbols flowing on it. An ancient aura filled the air, making Black Tortoise look like a peerless god of war. His cold eyes fell on Ling Xiao. Ling Xiao. Prepare to pay with your life for the Tiger King. Black Tortoise said coldly. His voice was like thunder, exploding in the sky. Everyone's eardrums were buzzing and their faces turned pale. Lord Black Tortoise has made his move. Is that the legendary Black Tortoise's supreme treasure, the Taoist artifact river diagram? That arrogant old goat was actually kept by Lord Black Tortoise. That's amazing. Everyone exclaimed, their eyes filled with astonishment. Everyone saw the battle between the old goat and Su Liangcheng. Although the old goat's moves were wretched, it was undeniable that his combat strength was extremely strong. Otherwise, Su Liangcheng would not have suffered such a great loss. That was why everyone guessed that the wretched old goat was an expert of the Monster King realm. However, they did not expect Black Tortoise to keep the old goat in the river diagram. Legend has it that the river diagram is a creation treasure. During the ancient times, the Black Tortoise sovereign refined a Milky Way that connected the mortal and divine realms into the diagram to form the river diagram. At its peak, the river diagram was a supreme being artifact. Although the river diagram's power has decreased greatly, with this supreme being artifact, Lord Black Tortoise is invincible. Ling Xiao is in danger. That's right. I think Ling Xiao was able to kill Tiger King because Tiger King underestimated him. However, Lord Black Tortoise is different. Not only is his cultivation far superior to Ling Xiao's, he also has the river diagram as a precious treasure to protect himself. Ling Xiao is dead for sure. Ling Xiao is still too young. Even though he's talented, he still dared to offend the Wanshou sect. I'm afraid he's going to die in the secret territory of immortality. Everyone was discussing animatedly as they looked at Ling Xiao with different expressions. The Tiger King was a good friend of the Black Tortoise. If Ling Xiao killed the Tiger King, the Black Tortoise would definitely not let Ling Xiao off. He would definitely kill Ling Xiao to avenge the Tiger King. As for the battle between the two, no one was optimistic about Ling Xiao's chances. What a great 10,000 beasts 7 scions. So they're all vile characters who take advantage of others' difficulties. I think your name is really appropriate. Gizi, you really are the son of a bastard turtle. Ling Xiao glanced at the Black Tortoise with a cold look in his eyes. He could see that the river diagram was indeed very powerful. However, if the Black Tortoise had not suddenly launched a sneak attack, the old goat would not have fallen so easily. The Black Tortoise's gaze turned cold as he said coldly, Ling Xiao, you're about to die and you still dare to talk nonsense. I can't help but admire your courage. I'll send you and your pet to reunite later and bury you in my river diagram forever. Is that so? I'm afraid you don't have the ability to do that. Ling Xiao's expression was very calm as he looked at the Black Tortoise. Ling Xiao, you're indeed very talented. I admit that even in the Wanshou sect, perhaps only the Dragon Sun's talent can compete with yours. However, if you're talented and arrogant without strength, you're destined to die without a burial ground. The Black Tortoise's eyes flashed with murderous intent as he looked at Ling Xiao condescendingly. His voice was incomparably cold. You're the one who's going to die without a burial ground. It's just a river diagram. In my eyes, it's nothing. If I can kill the Tiger King, killing you will be as easy as killing a dog. Ling Xiao said indifferently. His voice was incomparably decisive and revealed an invisible domineering aura. Everyone was stunned. With the river diagram, the Black Tortoise was already in an invincible position. Yet, Ling Xiao still dared to say such words. Did he really have the confidence or was he scared silly? This brat must have lost his mind. I'd like to see if he still dares to be arrogant after being beaten up by the Black Tortoise senior brother. Huang Haifeng's eyes revealed a trace of coldness as he said disdainfully. Being defeated by Ling Xiao outside the longevity's secret territory was a great humiliation. Now that Ling Xiao was in a desperate situation and had the entire world as his enemy, Huang Haifeng's heart was indescribably happy. This bastard. Even in the face of death, a dead pig is still not afraid of boiling water. The black tortoise is not someone the Tiger King can compare to. With the river diagram in hand, the black tortoise is already in an invincible position. Even the dragon's son can't break his defense. Among the crowd, the phoenix woman saw Ling Xiao's nonchalant look, and for some reason, she was so angry that her teeth itched. If not for the black tortoise, she would have personally taught this brat a lesson. Second elder, it seems like I don't have to do anything. Ling Xiao is dead for sure. Life is as lonely as snow. I, Zhao Ritian, only have myself as my opponent. Zhao Ritian stood on the emperor chariot with his hands behind his back. His eyes were filled with arrogance. According to the current situation, Ling Xiao has no chance of escaping alive. However, this brat is very strange. I still have a feeling that this brat will not die. The voice of the second elder sounded. Zhao Ritian was stunned as he stared at Ling Xiao. This brat is only at the Grandmaster realm. Not to mention Su Yangcheng, he can't even defeat the black tortoise. Could it be that he really has a trump card? Seeing Ling Xiao's calm expression, Zhao Ritian's heart skipped a beat. The more he thought about it, the more likely it was. When Ling Xiao made a bet with him, he had the same expression. Hee, this brat is getting more and more cunning. It seems like the people from the Wanshou sect are going to be tricked by him again. Anyway, it has nothing to do with me. I'm just here to watch the show. Zhao Ritian chuckled as he lay down on the emperor chariot. His face was filled with satisfaction as he looked at Ling Xiao and the black tortoise, anticipating the battle that was about to happen. Very good. You're arrogant enough. I hope you can still be so stubborn later. A cold light flashed in the black tortoise's eyes as he took a step forward in the air. Terrifying innate chi spread out from his body like a vast ocean, pressing down on Ling Xiao. Boom! Black lightning exploded as if it was going to split the ocean apart. A black metal rod appeared in the black tortoise's hand. It looked ancient and simple with faint runes shining on it. Obviously, it was not an ordinary item. The black tortoise's rod slashed down on Ling Xiao's head. It was like a bolt of black lightning that pierced through the sky. It contained a vast amount of energy. Good timing. Chapter 357. Bang! Ling Xiao's punch was like a dragon as his terrifying blood chi burst out from his body. It was as if a primordial true dragon had awakened from the darkness, emitting an aura that could shock the heavens and the earth. The punch landed on the iron staff and a bright light burst out. Runes filled the air and a terrifying force spread through the iron staff towards Black Tortoise's body. Whoosh! Black Tortoise's eyes flashed with a trace of shock. His body instantly rose into the air and spun rapidly like a top. Endless rays of light shrouded him as black lightning fell from the 9 heavens and poured into the iron staff in his hand. Boom! When Black Tortoise's aura rose to its peak, he smashed the staff downwards. Suddenly, a black sea spread out behind Black Tortoise as if a huge black tortoise was coming down from the sky to suppress Ling Xiao. Black Tortoise Sky Staff. Black Tortoise shouted. The coldness in his eyes was like ice that would never melt. It swept across the sky with monstrous waves. It's the Black Tortoise Sky Staff. This is the ultimate move of the Black Tortoise True Technique. I didn't expect senior brother Black Tortoise to have cultivated this heaven-level martial art to such an extent. It seems like senior brother Black Tortoise wants to suppress Ling Xiao directly. A disciple of the Wanshou sect exclaimed with excitement in his eyes. The Black Tortoise Sky Staff was said to be able to communicate with the spirit of the Black Tortoise and summon the unparalleled divine power of the Black Tortoise to suppress everything. This move was the ultimate move of the Black Tortoise True Technique. Only those who had cultivated the Black Tortoise True Technique to the Great Completion realm could unleash the power of this move. Ling Xiao is going to lose. The crowd below felt that the sky was filled with shadows of the staff. The heavens and the earth dimmed as if everything in the world was going to be crushed by this staff. The Black Tortoise Sky Staff exuded a powerful aura that could destroy everything. It made the crowd's scalp tingle. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed as he felt a strong threat. Suddenly, his body bloomed with golden light and his eyes revealed an incomparably powerful battle intent. For elephants heaven-striking style. Ling Xiao faced the giant shadow of the staff in the sky and clenched his fists. For beams of dazzling divine light erupted from his body and shot up into the sky, transforming into the divine power of the four symbols of earth, water, wind, and fire. At the same time, traces of chaotic chi spread out. Rumble. The sky shook violently. The divine light of the four guardians was like four heavenly pillars. It collided with the black tortoise heavenly staff. Black cracks spread out in the void. The talisman was instantly shattered. The violent explosion almost deafened everyone. Everyone revealed an incomparably shocked expression. The black tortoise was one thing. He was already at the heaven tier in the first place. Coupled with the power of the black tortoise sky-reaching staff, he was able to unleash a power comparable to the fifth or sixth layer of the heaven tier. However, Ling Xiao was only at the second level of the supreme power realm. How could he unleash the power of the celestial being realm? Just what kind of heaven-defying martial art was that terrifying four symbols divine light? At this moment, even the slowest person understood that the martial arts that Ling Xiao cultivated was definitely not ordinary. It was at least a heaven-class martial arts, or perhaps even more powerful. Crack! The four guardian divine lights exploded. The black tortoise heavenly staff actually pierced through the void. It was wrapped in unparalleled divine power and crushed everything. It directly blasted Ling Xiao dozens of feet away. Ling Xiao, you're definitely going to die. Although the black tortoise was shocked by the terrifying power that Ling Xiao could unleash, he felt that Ling Xiao was still weaker than him. Suddenly, his heart was filled with information. He held the iron staff in his hand and continued to attack Ling Xiao. Is this the power of the black tortoise heavenly staff? It's really strong, but unfortunately, it's still too weak. Although Ling Xiao was blasted dozens of feet away, his body floated down like a goose feather. He did not suffer any injuries at all. Feeling the power of the black tortoise heavenly staff, Ling Xiao's eyes revealed a hint of surprise. He said something contradictory. The black tortoise heavenly staff was indeed very strong. It could even break through Ling Xiao's four symbols hitting the sky. However, the black tortoise heavenly staff was weak because it had not reached the level that Ling Xiao had imagined. There was a limit to its strength. Rumble. The vast sea was turbulent. The iron staff in the black tortoise's hand fell. It was wrapped in vast divine power and summoned the spirit of the black tortoise to suppress Ling Xiao. Kill! Ling Xiao shouted. He unleashed his terrifying physical strength and began to fight with all his might. Although he had not broken through to the flying dragon constitution, Ling Xiao's earth dragon constitution had completely broken through to the complete realm. His entire body was flawless and his physical strength was unparalleled. Moreover, there seemed to be a mysterious and vast dragon power flowing in his blood. It made his every move like a real dragon. Before he killed his opponent, he would seize his opponent's soul. 5 elements sky ceiling style. Ling Xiao's fist was like a mountain. It was vast and majestic. He used the sky-devouring golden lotus to mobilize the 5 elements origin energy of heaven and earth. In an instant, a vast fist aura realm was formed. The 5 elements divine light filled the air. With Ling Xiao as the center, a mysterious realm seemed to appear around him. When the black tortoise entered this realm, his body was instantly suppressed. What made the black tortoise feel uncomfortable was that this realm seemed to have isolated the power of heaven and earth. The power that erupted from his iron staff was instantly reduced by 50%. Boom! Ling Xiao's fist landed on the iron staff. It was as if an Archean ferocious beast had crashed into it. The black tortoise felt an unparalleled force coming at him. The river diagram began to emit rays of spiritual light to counteract the attack of that terrifying force. Bang! 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 Ling Xiao's fist landed one after another. The five elements sky ceiling style isolated all forces, causing the black tortoise to become extremely weak. It was as if he had been reduced to a punching bag. In an instant, Ling Xiao had landed dozens of punches on him. However, the river diagram on his body was like the strongest shield. It blocked all the forces that erupted from Ling Xiao's fists. Ling Xiao, I have the river diagram. You can't kill me. On the contrary, you'll die. No one can save you. The black tortoise's eyes were blazing with killing intent as he roared. He knew that Ling Xiao was extremely talented and had great combat strength. He could even kill the Tiger King. However, when he really fought with Ling Xiao, he felt that he had underestimated him. When this young man fought, he was simply like a demon god. He erupted with power that made heaven and earth tremble. His endless methods made the black tortoise feel incomparably fearful. This young man must not be allowed to live. Otherwise, he would become a huge threat. Therefore, the black tortoise was even more determined to kill Ling Xiao. Descend of the black tortoise, destroy the world. The black tortoise roared. Suddenly, black divine light surged around his body. An ancient and mysterious aura awakened from his body. Countless black chi gushed out and broke free from the five elements sky ceiling styles realm in an instant. The black tortoise stood in the void. The vast sea behind him bobbed up and down. A huge black tortoise slowly appeared as if it had come from another world. It emitted a force that caused the void to tremble. The spirit of the black tortoise had descended. Chapter 358. Roar. An earth-shattering roar resounded. It was as if the sky had been shattered. The vast sea covered the sky and covered the earth. The huge black tortoise looked very ferocious as it rushed towards Ling Xiao to suppress him. This is the power of the black tortoise's bloodline. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed as he looked at the Xuanwu in the sky. The Xuanwu's body was shining brightly, and its blood qi was surging. A mysterious power had awakened in its blood, and it had formed a mysterious connection with the Xuanwu. This was the power of the black tortoise's bloodline. It contained the destructive power of the ancient black tortoise. It was also the strongest trump card of the black tortoise. After the black tortoise appeared, even Su Liangcheng, He Qing, and the others had a serious look on their faces. I didn't expect the black tortoise's bloodline to be so pure that it could trigger the power of the black tortoise's ancestor. Ling Xiao is in danger. Phoenix Woman's eyes flashed. The black tortoise was usually very low-key. Phoenix Woman had only seen the true power of the black tortoise today. With the power of the black tortoise's bloodline and the protection of the river diagram, even Phoenix Woman knew that she was no match for the black tortoise. Ling Xiao's figure was so tiny in the face of the black tortoise in the sky. However, there was no fear in Ling Xiao's eyes. Instead, they were filled with a strong desire to fight. A terrifying aura rose from Ling Xiao's body. Boom! Ling Xiao punched out, and it was as if 6 holes gushing with divine light had appeared behind him, faintly leading to an unknown world. Mysterious laws spread out. A domineering aura, as if everything was under his control, shot towards the black tortoise in the sky. 6 paths of reincarnation. Ling Xiao's eyes shone with golden light. Blood qi surged from his body. A powerful dragon aura spread out, making Ling Xiao look like a real dragon. Boom! A huge fist print flew across the sky and hit the black tortoise in the sky. The 6 paths of reincarnation spread out as if it was going to turn the world into chaos. Roar! The black tortoise's body was tens of thousands of feet long, terrifying beyond compare. Around its body, a black vortex spread out. It opened its mouth and swallowed Ling Xiao's fist. At the same time, a powerful suction force appeared. Sand and pebbles flew everywhere as the ancient trees exploded. The ferocious mouth opened and swallowed Ling Xiao into the black tortoise's stomach. Up in the sky, the black tortoise's aura was monstrous. It was ancient and mysterious. Ling Xiao was swallowed just like that. Someone exclaimed, his voice trembling with disbelief. Everyone's face turned pale. The black tortoise in the sky was too oppressive. Even though everyone knew that it was only the power of the black tortoise's bloodline, they still couldn't help but tremble. As expected of the bloodline of the black tortoise. No matter how strong Ling Xiao's talent is, it's impossible for him to be a match for the spirit of the black tortoise. He's dead for sure now. What a pity, a genius has fallen just like that. The golden wind and jade dew must have fallen into the hands of the Wanshou sect. What a pity, everyone was discussing among themselves, their voices filled with sighs. Ling Xiao is finally dead. I knew he was no match for Senior Black Tortoise. It's too easy for him to die just like that. It's alright. Once we find the disciples of the Changsun sect, we'll kill them all and let the entire Changsun sect be buried with Senior Tiger King. Only death awaits those who dare to go against the Wanshou sect. Many of the disciples of the Changsun sect had cold looks in their eyes. They knew that this was the right outcome. Moreover, in the battle between Ling Xiao and the Black Tortoise, they could see how terrifying Ling Xiao's potential was. Ling Xiao was an entire cultivation realm lower than the Black Tortoise. In the end, the Black Tortoise had no choice but to unleash the power of the Black Tortoise's bloodline in order to swallow Ling Xiao. Ling Xiao died just like that. Second Elder, didn't you say that this kid is not simple? Zhao Ritian's eyes widened in disbelief. The spirit of the Black Tortoise is too strong. Ling Xiao's cultivation is too weak. Something's not right. The old voice of the second elder could be heard. However, it instantly exuded a wave of shock. Boom! Right at this moment, the black tortoise in the sky started to tremble violently. A loud explosion could be heard as the black tortoise exploded in the sky. Golden light shone brightly and chaotic energy filled the air. 6 mysterious worlds shot up into the sky. It was an unparalleled fist print. It pierced through the sky and destroyed everything in its path. It rushed out from the black tortoise's stomach, accompanied by a golden figure. That's Ling Xiao. Ling Xiao didn't die. Everyone was in an uproar. Their eyes were filled with disbelief. Not only did Ling Xiao not die, he even killed the black tortoise with a single punch from its stomach. Poof! The black tortoise was formed from the power of the black tortoise's bloodline. After being killed by Ling Xiao's punch, the black tortoise suffered quite a bit of backlash. It spat out a mouthful of blood and instantly became weak. How is this possible? The black tortoise's eyes were filled with disbelief. He had summoned the black tortoise. Not to mention Ling Xiao, the black tortoise was confident that it could injure or even kill a level 9 celestial realm expert. How could Ling Xiao be unharmed? Whoosh! Dazzling golden light streaked across the sky. Ling Xiao clenched his fist and charged at the black tortoise. His eyes were indifferent. Ling Xiao's speed was so fast that the sky was filled with his afterimages. The black tortoise had no chance to defend itself and was instantly hit in the chest by Ling Xiao's punch. Bang! The black tortoise flew back dozens of feet. The runes on its chest flickered and offset the power of Ling Xiao's punch. The red cloak on the black tortoise flickered as if it had suffered a heavy blow. The river diagram played a role in blocking Ling Xiao's punch at the critical moment. Although the black tortoise was sent flying, it did not suffer any injuries. Boom! 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 Ling Xiao's speed was getting faster and faster. As he descended from the sky, he threw out hundreds of punches in an instant. The golden fist imprint was incomparably dazzling, like a golden divine dragon, containing an indomitable and terrifying aura. Ling Xiao, who had used the teleportation secret skill, was extremely fast. After the black tortoise fell into a disadvantageous position, it did not have any chance to defend itself. In an instant, it was hit by Ling Xiao's hundreds of punches. The river diagram was like a watery light that enveloped the black tortoise. The runes spread and offset Ling Xiao's fist. However, the black tortoise felt extremely aggrieved. Its eyes were filled with anger. Chapter 359. Black Tortoise's heart trembled in disbelief. How could Ling Xiao be so strong? He was like a dragon in human form. His physical strength was limitless. He was no match for Ling Xiao even when he fully unleashed his black tortoise bloodline. If it wasn't for the river diagram, he would have died in Ling Xiao's hands. Watch me break your tortoise shell. Ling Xiao's eyes were cold as a terrifying aura surrounded him. It landed on Black Tortoise as he prepared to strike. Ling Xiao, I'm undefeatable with the river diagram. You must have used some kind of forbidden technique. I don't believe you can keep erupting with such terrifying power. I'll kill you once your power recedes. Black Tortoise roared. His gaze towards Ling Xiao was filled with resentment and humiliation. Is that so? Little guy, the river diagram isn't something you can control. At this moment, a complacent voice rang out. There was a flash of light in the air and the old goat appeared. Whoosh! The river diagram on Black Tortoise's body trembled violently at this moment. Dazzling divine light gushed out and turned into a stream of light. It broke free from Black Tortoise's control and landed on the old goat. The old goat wore a cloak formed by the river diagram. His fur was shiny and he looked majestic. His eyes were filled with complacency as he enjoyed everyone's shocked gazes. My river diagram. No. Black Tortoise's expression changed drastically as he lost control of the river diagram in an instant. He screamed in agony as his vision darkened and he almost fell down. He couldn't figure it out at all. He had used the river diagram to keep the old goat, so he should have refined the old goat into ashes by now. How could the old goat have quietly escaped from the river diagram's control, and even seized control of the river diagram? Boom! Ling Xiao's eyes flashed coldly as he threw a punch at Black Tortoise's abdomen. Crack! Black Tortoise's black armor was also a powerful bejeweled weapon. At this moment, it emitted a dazzling brilliance and exploded in an instant. Black Tortoise's body suddenly arched like a cooked prawn. He coughed up large mouthfuls of blood and his aura became extremely weak. How terrifying was Ling Xiao's punch! The unparalleled power destroyed the Black Tortoise's meridians and shook his organs, causing his entire body to tremble. Whoosh! The Black Tortoise's body turned into a stream of light and suddenly fell to the ground below. A cold glint flashed across Ling Xiao's eyes as he prepared to kill the Black Tortoise in one go. However, Ling Xiao suddenly felt a sense of danger. His back was extremely cold, as though he was being targeted by a venomous snake. Without thinking, he used a secret teleportation technique and moved to the surroundings. Chi! A dark blue light flashed. Unparalleled sword light instantly erupted from where Ling Xiao had been. Even though Ling Xiao had dodged quickly, a bloody gash had appeared on his back. Moreover, black light had spread into his body. At Ling Xiao's original position, Su Liangqing held an ancient blue sword in his hand. His aura was extremely obscure, and his killing intent was incomparably blazing. At that moment, Su Liangqing's eyes were filled with shock. He simply could not understand why he had failed to kill Ling Xiao despite using his full strength. Bastard! Old bastard, you're an elder of the Wanshou sect. How dare you sneak attack a young man? Do you have any shame? The old goat did not expect Su Liangqing to sneak attack Ling Xiao. He was instantly enraged, and his eyes were filled with hostility. Su Liangqing. Very well. Ling Xiao turned around, his eyes cold. He did not even frown at the pain coming from his back. However, he had an extremely strong killing intent towards Su Liangqing in his heart. Ling Xiao, you've been poisoned by my Huagong absolute poison powder. In less than 15 minutes, your cultivation will be reduced to nothing. If you don't want to die, kneel down and kowtow to me, and hand over the golden wind and jade dew. Su Yangqing looked coldly at Ling Xiao, his eyes filled with undisguised killing intent. What? It's the Huagong absolute poison powder. I heard that this poison is extracted from the body of a demon king. It's extremely precious. Even a celestial realm expert would have his cultivation dissolved after being poisoned by this poison. Someone cried out in surprise, and a trace of shock appeared in his eyes. This time, Ling Xiao is dead for sure. Some people looked at Ling Xiao sympathetically. Although Ling Xiao's talent was extraordinary and his combat power was extremely strong, especially in his battle with the Black Tortoise, which had refreshed everyone's understanding of him time and time again, after being poisoned by the absolute poison powder, Ling Xiao had already become a fish on the chopping block, with no possibility of escape. Huagong absolute poison powder. I didn't expect the dignified One Shou sect to use such a despicable method. Ling Xiao smiled faintly, his eyes still calm. The Huagong absolute poison powder was indeed overbearing, but after cultivating the Devouring Heaven's secret skill, the Devouring Heaven Golden Lotus could devour everything. Not to mention poison, even demon qi and demon qi could be refined by Ling Xiao. Therefore, when the Huagong absolute poison powder entered Ling Xiao's blood, it was refined by him. Su Yangqing said coldly, when dealing with an enemy, it doesn't matter whether the method is despicable or not. Especially when dealing with an enemy like you, I never dare to underestimate you. Ling Xiao, kneel down. Ling Xiao, you also have such a day. You dare to offend the Wan Shou sect, you're simply courting death. Kneel down and beg for mercy, maybe the Great Elder will give you a way out. Huang Haifeng laughed arrogantly. His eyes were filled with delight. Great Elder, kill him. You must kill him. Cough cough. Black Tortoise's face was very pale, and he kept coughing up blood. His eyes were full of hatred. When had he ever suffered such humiliation? Not only was the river diagram taken away, but he was also beaten like a dead dog by Ling Xiao. Although Black Tortoise kept a low profile in the Wan Shou sect, he was very proud. Such a proud person was defeated by Ling Xiao, that feeling was simply driving him crazy, and he hated Ling Xiao to the extreme. Who do you think you are? You dare to make me kneel? If you all kneel down and beg for mercy, maybe I will spare your lives, otherwise, all of you will die. Ling Xiao's eyes showed a trace of sharpness, and his voice was full of dominance. You're courting death. Su Yangqing's eyes turned cold, and a terrifying aura burst out from his body. He stretched out his hand and grabbed at Ling Xiao. Old bastard, if you have the ability to fight 300 rounds with this emperor guarantees to beat you into a dead dog. The old goat roared and was about to charge at Su Yangqing. But at this moment, a mysterious aura spread out. Ling Xiao stood on the golden wind jade dew pond, his body emitting a faint light, and symbols flashed in the void. He slapped the void, and the entire golden wind jade dew pond began to tremble. Chapter 360. Ling Xiao, you're courting death. Su Yangqing's expression changed as he had a bad feeling about this. He unleashed all of his cultivation and charged towards Ling Xiao. He felt that Ling Xiao was doing something very dangerous. If he couldn't stop Ling Xiao, something very troublesome would appear. Boom! Thunder exploded in the void as the golden wind jade dew pond emitted a dazzling divine light. Mysterious runes filled the air as powerful figures walked out from the golden wind jade dew pond, exuding a vast and terrifying aura. They were figures in broken armor. Their entire bodies were filled with killing intent. Their bodies were illusory, as if they were souls. They were incomparably gloomy and cold, as if they had come from the endless passage of time. Their bodies emitted an endless terrifying battle intent. Ling Xiao grabbed the eager old goat and plunged into the golden wind jade dew pond. At the same time, a dazzling brilliance shrouded Ling Xiao and the old goat. Boy, what are you doing? Why are you grabbing my tail? Hey, are these ancient battle spirits? The old goat's face was filled with displeasure when Ling Xiao grabbed its tail. However, when it saw the terrifying figures, its eyes suddenly widened and its mouth opened wide. Ancient battle spirits were special existences formed by the battle intent of the ancient experts after they died in battle and intertwined with the laws of heaven and earth. A battle spirit was not a soul form, nor was it a life form. It was only an unyielding fighting spirit that contained an extremely strong killing intent. Its combat strength was incomparably formidable. The Golden Wind Jade Dew Pond was originally formed from the corpse of a god, and the place where a god died in battle is also the easiest place to condense a battle spirit. In the past, the ancestors of the longevity mystic realm used the Golden Wind Jade Dew Pond as the foundation to form a resting place for their battle spirits. They were also the guardians of the Golden Wind Jade Dew Pond. I just awakened them. Now, let's see who runs faster. The slower one will die. Ling Xiao smiled faintly. The coldness in his voice made the old goat shudder involuntarily. This boy was too cunning. The people of the Wanshou sect were going to be screwed over by Ling Xiao. The old goat cursed inwardly. Rumble. The battle spirits were awakened by Ling Xiao and walked out of the Golden Wind Jade Dew Pond. There were more than a dozen of them, and each of them had an incomparably powerful aura. This caused Su Yangcheng and He Qing's expressions to change drastically. Not good, let's go. Although Su Yangcheng didn't know what these battle spirits were, the ancient battle spirits emitted fluctuations that made Su Yangcheng's heart tremble. Without even thinking, he roared at the crowd and was about to leap into the distance. Rumble. A battle spirit targeted Su Yangcheng. The azure dragon crescent blade in Zhan Ling's hand was incomparably sharp. It cut through the air and slashed down towards Su Yangcheng. It was like the Milky Way from the highest heavens, snow-white and resplendent, its infernal energy overflowing the heavens. Su Yangcheng's complexion changed. Seeing that the road ahead was blocked, he could only grit his teeth and slash out with the ancient blue sword in his hand, wanting to finish off this battle spirit. However, the others weren't so lucky. The weakest of these battle spirits was only at the Grandmaster realm, but their combat strength was extremely powerful. Those who coveted the Golden Wind Jade Dew Pond were unwilling to leave and instantly suffered a calamity. Several ancient battle spirits swept over, holding a long iron spear and a ghost head broadsword. Unparalleled divine power erupted, and immediately, several martial artists were cut in half at the waist, their bodies turning into a mist of blood. What are these things? Huang Haifeng, Phoenix Maiden, Zhao Ritian, and the others were all shocked. They didn't even think about it and wanted to run away. However, the speed of these battle spirits was extremely fast. Moreover, their killing intent was blazing and pure, containing an incomparably majestic power, and they chased after the crowd. Help! Don't kill me, screams sounded one after another. These dozen battle spirits were like tigers in a flock of sheep. No one could withstand their might. In the blink of an eye, hundreds of people fell into a pool of blood. Flesh and blood splattered everywhere, and severed limbs could be seen everywhere. This swamp seemed to have turned into an Azura hell. Damn it, how can these ancient battle spirits be so terrifying? In the Golden Wind Jade Dew Pond, the old goat felt his scalp tingle as he secretly clicked his tongue. There were a few terrifying ancient battle spirits that exuded an aura comparable to that of a half-step to the noble realm. The old goat felt that he was definitely no match for them. Rumble. The ancient battle spirits chased after the crowd. Their eyes were cold, and their expressions were indifferent. It was as if there was no emotion, only a strong fighting intent and killing instinct. Young master, hurry up and leave. I'll stop them. The old servant behind Huang Haifeng had a determined look in his eyes. His blood essence and flesh burned as he pounced on one of the battle spirits. At this moment, Huang Haifeng was so scared that his face turned pale. He didn't have any fighting intent left. He hated that he didn't have two more legs and quickly fled into the distance. As for his old servant, although he was of the celestial realm and had burned his life origin, he only resisted for a moment before he was killed by the ancient battle spirit. Old goat, stay here obediently and don't move. Those ancient battle spirits don't recognize you. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed coldly as he warned the old goat. He rushed out of the golden wind jade dew pond and rushed toward Huang Haifeng. Ling Xiao didn't intend to let anyone who came here today go. The ancient battle spirits didn't seem to sense Ling Xiao's aura. Ling Xiao was unimpeded and caught up with Huang Haifeng in an instant. Rumble. Ling Xiao didn't say anything. His expression was cold as he punched out. The terrifying power seemed to tear the void apart. Ling Xiao. You. Why aren't you afraid of those damn things? Huang Haifeng let out a blood-curdling scream. His eyes were filled with disbelief. Ling Xiao's fist landed on his back in an instant, causing all the defensive artifacts on his body to explode. Pfft! Ling Xiao, don't kill me, don't kill me. If you kill me, my father won't let you go. Huang Haifeng suddenly spat out a mouthful of blood as he screamed. However, Ling Xiao didn't say anything to him and slapped down. Boom! A terrifying power exploded, and Huang Haifeng's body was directly smashed into a bloody mist by Ling Xiao, completely exploding. Ling Xiao's hand flashed and grabbed Huang Haifeng's storage weapon. His body turned into a stream of light and rushed toward Black Tortoise. Ling Xiao, what are you doing? The Black Tortoise's expression changed. He was already heavily injured. At this moment, he and He Qing were fleeing into the distance. Behind them, there was already a battle spirit chasing after them. But the road ahead was blocked by soaring firmament. I'll send you to see the Tiger King. Ling Xiao said indifferently as he punched toward Black Tortoise and He Qing. The blazing fist print soared into the sky, containing a majestic dragon's might. It was like a blazing sun in the sky, unstoppable. Chapter 361. Violent Dragon Superpower, Quadruple Combat Strength. The reason why Ling Xiao was able to destroy the Black Tortoise so easily was because he had used the Berserk Dragon Divine ability. Ling Xiao's physical body was now perfect and flawless. The Violent Dragon Superpower could even suppress a peak rank 6 demonic beast, let alone the severely injured Black Tortoise and the panicking He Qing. Ling Xiao, the sect master will not let you go. You and the people of the Changsun sect will all die. He Qing roared and threw out a palm strike with all his might. However, it was instantly destroyed by Ling Xiao's punch. Ling Xiao's eyes were cold as he ignored the roars of Black Tortoise and He Qing. His unparalleled fist print fell and instantly enveloped the two of them. Boom! Black Tortoise and He Qing were directly blasted into a mist of blood by Ling Xiao's punch. Their souls were also directly devoured by the sky-devouring Golden Lotus. Black Tortoise and He Qing completely disappeared from the world. They did not even have the chance to be reincarnated. Their souls were scattered. Ling Xiao. He actually dared to kill Black Tortoise and Elder He Qing. He will not rest until he is dead. This is a hatred that will not rest until he is dead. Everyone's eyes were filled with horror. However, in the blink of an eye, they did not have the time to care about Ling Xiao's killing because the ancient fighting spirits had rushed over and killed countless experts. Especially the disciples of the Wanshou sect. Ling Xiao used the teleportation secret technique to move freely between heaven and earth. Those who wanted to escape from the ancient fighting spirits all died in Ling Xiao's hands. Ling Xiao, go to hell. Su Yangqing was completely crazy. His face was ferocious and his eyes were filled with killing intent. The disciples of the Wanshou sect were all dead, which made his eyes turn red. The two ancient fighting spirits that surrounded Su Yangqing were extremely powerful. In the blink of an eye, Su Yangqing was at a disadvantage. Boom! Su Yangqing's body suddenly emitted a black divine light and completely burned. A monstrous wave swept across the sky and forced the two ancient fighting spirits to retreat. Su Yangqing took the opportunity to attack Ling Xiao. His eyes were filled with crazy killing intent. He hated Ling Xiao to the extreme. Everything was caused by Ling Xiao. Even if he had to die, he would kill Ling Xiao first. The dark blue ancient sword was like a long blue river, containing the aura of death and destruction. It was like the king of hell, ready to harvest all life. Su Yangqing burned his life source and his aura became extremely terrifying. In an instant, he exploded with the power of a noble plain cultivator. Even Ling Xiao felt threatened. However, Ling Xiao's expression did not change. He stood in the air and watched as Su Yangqing charged over. His eyes were filled with mockery. Kill Ling Xiao. As long as Ling Xiao is killed, perhaps these ancient battle spirits will collapse on their own. Su Yangqing's eyes lit up, and the only thought in his mind was to kill Ling Xiao. The blue ancient sword shone with an eternal light, and Su Yangqing slashed out with the strongest sword strike of his life. Rumble. The sword radiance was unparalleled and terrifying. It landed on Ling Xiao's body as if it was going to tear him into pieces. However, at this moment, an ancient sword appeared in Ling Xiao's hand. It was filled with an ancient aura. The body of the sword had the shadows of the sun, moon, stars, mountains, rivers, and all life. It was like a sword of heaven, containing the power of law. Sky-devouring sword. As if it had felt Ling Xiao's strong battle intent, the sky-devouring sword began to buzz and vibrate. Rays of light pierced through the void, containing a terrifying killing intent. Rumble. Ling Xiao slowly raised the sky-devouring sword. The entire world began to rumble. Ling Xiao's aura became stronger and stronger, and it began to emit a terrifying aura. It was domineering, mysterious, and majestic. It could swallow the world. When the sky-devouring sword was completely raised, Su Yangqing's sword was already in front of Ling Xiao. However, at this moment, the scene before Su Yangqing changed drastically. He felt as if his sword had slashed through the air. Ling Xiao, who was opposite him, no longer existed in this world. It was a strange world in front of him. The terrifying dark blue sword radiance melted like snow. Swish! An unparalleled sword light descended at an extremely fast speed. The surrounding heaven and earth turned into a vast expanse of white. When the light dissipated, everyone saw Ling Xiao standing in the void. The ancient sword in his hand had disappeared. His expression was calm, and his aura was ethereal. Su Yangqing, who was opposite him, maintained the posture of drawing his sword. His eyes were filled with disbelief. "What sword is that?" Su Yangqing asked. "It's called Sky-devouring sword." Ling Xiao replied calmly. Sky-devouring sword. Sky-devouring sword. It's actually Sky-devouring sword. Su Yangqing muttered to himself. In the end, his eyes revealed a trace of fear. Boom! Su Yangqing's entire body exploded, turning into the tiniest powder. When the wind blew, it completely disappeared into the void. It seems like the Wan Shou sect knows something. Ling Xiao's eyes revealed a trace of sharpness. Others were confused by Su Yangqing's last sentence, but Ling Xiao understood. Su Yangqing recognized the sky-devouring sword. This also meant that the Wan Shou sect knew about the Changsun sect situation and was familiar with the sky-devouring sovereign. Ling Xiao was getting more and more curious. Who was the one who left behind the legacy of the Wan Shou sect? The peerless sword that Ling Xiao used to kill Su Yangqing had completely suppressed the people who had lost their fighting spirit. Under the suppression of the ancient fighting spirits, blood-curdling screams could be heard. The air was filled with a thick smell of blood. Soon, almost all of them died in the hands of the ancient fighting spirits. In the end, only Phoenix Woman and Zhao Ritian were left. They were still fighting with the two ancient fighting spirits. However, when the other fighting spirits surrounded them, the pressure on Phoenix Woman and Zhao Ritian increased. "Seniors, please stand down." Ling Xiao sighed softly. A mysterious rune fell from his hand. When the fighting spirits came into contact with the rune, their eyes revealed a trace of clarity. They looked at Ling Xiao with a complicated expression before returning to the golden wind jade dew pool. Ling Xiao, what are you trying to do? If you want to kill me, just kill me. If I frown, I'm not the Phoenix woman. Phoenix woman said coldly as she looked at Ling Xiao. On the other hand, Zhao Ritian lowered his head and rolled his eyes. No one knew what he was thinking. Phoenix woman and Zhao Ritian did not choose to run away. Ling Xiao's shocking sword had almost exploded with the power of a noble realm cultivator. The sword that killed Su Yangqing made their hearts tremble. Ling Xiao ignored Phoenix woman and looked at Zhao Ritian's Emperor War Chariot. This Emperor War Chariot only had the power of a low-grade Dao weapon. Some of the runes on it were broken and it gave off an ancient and vicissitude aura. Zhao Ritian was shocked. He thought that Ling Xiao was going to attack him. He quickly smiled and said, "Young Master Ling, do you like this Emperor War Chariot? This is a treasure that I obtained in the secret territory. It can travel 100,000 miles in a day. It's extremely fast and it's very cool." At that time, I felt that only young Master Ling was worthy of it. I decisively removed the mark that I left on the Emperor War Chariot. The Emperor War Chariot flashed and flew towards Ling Xiao. Chapter 362. Zhao Ritian's face was full of smiles but his heart was bleeding. This was the most precious Dao artifact that he had obtained in the Longevity's secret territory. Even the Sun Moon Star sect did not have a powerful Dao artifact like the Emperor War Chariot. In the end, he gave it away to save his life. Moreover, no matter how much Zhao Ritian called out to the second master, that bastard was nowhere to be seen. He did not even reply to him. Zhao Ritian guessed that the second master might have been frightened by Ling Xiao. Ling Xiao looked at Zhao Ritian with a faint smile on his face. Zhao Ritian's face froze for a moment before a smile appeared on his face. There was a tinge of anxiety in his eyes. If this fiend in front of him were to really make a move, even he, Zhao Ritian, would not be able to withstand it. "All right, I'll take it since you're so sincere. You can go now." Ling Xiao smiled faintly. A light flashed in his hand and the Emperor War Chariot was kept in his longevity ring. "Young Master Ling, I won't disturb you any longer." Zhao Ritian looked at the Emperor War Chariot with a pained expression. He turned around and ran, afraid that Ling Xiao would regret it. "Ling Xiao, what are you trying to do?" Finally, Ling Xiao's gaze landed on the Phoenix Lady. She was shocked and took 2 steps back. The young man in front of her looked handsome and had a bright smile. However, in the eyes of the Phoenix Lady, he was a demon. So many disciples of the Wan Shou sect had died in his hands. "Do you hate me very much now?" Ling Xiao smiled and took a step closer to the Phoenix Lady. Phoenix Girl was slightly stunned, thinking about it carefully. Although Ling Xiao had killed countless Wan Shou sect disciples, even He Qing, Black Tortoise, and Su Yangqing had died at his hands, Phoenix Girl did not hate Ling Xiao. While the Phoenix Lady was still in a daze, Ling Xiao had already approached her and sniffed her neck. Suddenly, the fragrance of a virgin filled the air. It was indescribably sweet. "Bastard, what are you doing?" The Phoenix Maiden's body stiffened, and her beautiful face immediately turned red. She looked at Ling Xiao with eyes full of shame and anger. Her figure was already very hot to begin with, and at this moment, under the undulation of her heart, her chest was surging like waves, and her white peaks were moving up and down, emitting endless temptation. Although the Phoenix Girl looked very flirtatious on the surface and liked to tease others, she was still very conservative on the inside. Now that she was startled by Ling Xiao's intimate actions, her mind was in a mess. "It really is the dark phoenix body." Ling Xiao nodded, a look of understanding in his eyes. His gaze was very clear, without any hint of filth. "Black phoenix body? What's the dark phoenix constitution?" Phoenix Girl was stunned. She thought Ling Xiao was going to do something to her. She was even prepared to die rather than submit. In the end, Ling Xiao said something that confused her. Ling Xiao's gaze swept across Phoenix Girl's body. It was as if he could see through her body, causing her to feel uncomfortable. Bastard, what are you trying to do? If you want to kill me, then kill me. If you want, then I'll castrate you. Phoenix Girl was about to go crazy from Ling Xiao's gaze, and she said angrily. When you cultivate recently, do your perineum true qi become chaotic on full moon nights? Do you have spring water surging, and do you have erotic dreams? Ling Xiao smiled faintly. How did you know? Phoenix Girl's body trembled, and her eyes revealed a look of disbelief. Ling Xiao was talking about a problem that had been troubling her. Recently, she had been tormented to the point of insanity. She was still a virgin, and she didn't even know what was wrong with her. Why would she have such thoughts and have such embarrassing dreams? Moreover, when you cultivate in the afternoon, the vermilion bird true qi in your dantian sea of qi would boil and flow throughout your body. It would be as painful as being burned by a raging fire, and you would need to expend a lot of energy to suppress it. Recently, it's getting harder and harder to suppress it, right? Ling Xiao looked at Phoenix Girl and said. Do you know how to read fortunes? I've never told anyone about these symptoms. How did you know? Phoenix Girl was even more shocked, and her voice trembled. The dignified body of the Dark Phoenix is cultivating the vermilion bird true technique. If it weren't for your strong bloodline, I'm afraid you would have gone mad and died in a raging fire. Ling Xiao said faintly, and his eyes were full of wisdom. Phoenix Girl trembled, and her eyes revealed a trace of shock. She said, You're saying that I have the body of the Dark Phoenix? What kind of physique is the body of the Dark Phoenix? Why would my vermilion bird true technique have such symptoms? Ling Xiao's words almost broke Phoenix Girl's understanding of martial arts. Moreover, it concerned her life. Suddenly, she couldn't care less about her hostile relationship with Ling Xiao, and hurriedly asked. In ancient times, the true dragon clan, the Phoenix clan, and other supreme mythical beasts were once the overlords of heaven and earth. They were extremely powerful. Within the Phoenix clan, everyone only knows about the fire phoenix, which is the vermilion bird. They also know about the blue swan and the swan. These are all powerful mythical beasts of the Phoenix clan. However, everyone doesn't know that the Phoenix clan has a mutated phoenix called the Dark Phoenix. Ling Xiao smiled faintly. Dark Phoenix? Could it be that its feathers are black? Is there a difference? Phoenix Girl asked aloud. Of course there's a difference. The Dark Phoenix is a mutated phoenix. In addition to its black feathers, its body can produce black flames of destruction. Its combat strength is unparalleled. If the fire phoenix is an extreme young mythical beast, then the Dark Phoenix is an extreme mean mythical beast. Do you understand? Ling Xiao said. Extreme mean mythical beast? Phoenix Girl's face instantly became incomparably ugly. The vermilion bird true technique was an extreme young technique. If she really had the body of the Dark Phoenix, cultivating the vermilion bird true technique was simply courting death. It turned out that Ling Xiao's words were not exaggerated. If this continued, she would sooner or later suffer from qi deviation. You were able to persist until now because your Dark Phoenix body is too powerful. Its strength can suppress the vermilion bird true technique. However, now that the two have reached the point where they are like fire and water, when your vermilion bird true technique is improved, I'm afraid that the Dark Phoenix body will not be able to suppress it. At that time, Ling Xiao stopped and didn't continue speaking. However, Phoenix Girl understood that there was only one outcome, and that was qi deviation. Dark Phoenix body. If I really have the Dark Phoenix body, the sect leader will definitely tell me. Ling Xiao, don't think that you can fool me. Although Phoenix Girl was 80% convinced, she still felt that Ling Xiao was fooling her. You should know best whether I'm lying to you or not. The sect leader you're talking about is the Black Dragon King? He's just a noble realm cultivator. He doesn't have the ability to recognize the Dark Phoenix body. Ling Zhao's eyes revealed a trace of arrogance. Chapter 363. You're bluffing. Phoenix Girl pouted. If the Black Dragon King didn't know, how could this young man know? Even if the Black Dragon King knew, he wouldn't tell you. Ling Zhao smiled faintly. He looked at the Phoenix Lady with sympathy in his eyes. Why wouldn't he tell me? Phoenix Girl was stunned. Do you know what happens when a black phoenix cultivates the vermilion bird true technique? It's fine if you go berserk, but your black phoenix body contains terrifying primordial yin energy. Although the Black Dragon King doesn't know that you have a black phoenix body, he knows the primordial yin energy in your body. It's fine if a black phoenix cultivates the vermilion bird true technique and goes berserk. But what's worse is that under the influence of the vermilion bird true technique, the primordial yin energy in your body will grow stronger and stronger. When your primordial yin energy reaches its peak, it'll be like a ripe fruit. Once it's plucked by someone, your cultivation will become nourishment for someone else. That feeling, is worse than death. Ling Zhao glanced at Phoenix Maiden. Phoenix Maiden's body was already trembling, and her eyes were filled with disbelief. Impossible, I don't believe it. You must be lying to me. The sect leader treats me like his own child. He wouldn't do this to me. Phoenix Girl's shoulders trembled and her face turned pale. Her eyes were filled with disbelief and sorrow. This was the feeling of countless years of faith suddenly collapsing. It felt as if her entire body was being torn apart and her primordial spirit was shattered. She was a walking corpse with no hope left. Ling Zhao couldn't bear to hurt her, but he still sighed softly. The Black Dragon King has been stuck at the 9th level of the noble realm for decades, right? Ling Zhao's words were the last straw that broke the camel's back. Phoenix Girl was stunned and her face was drained of blood. The Black Dragon King was the strongest person in the Wanshou sect. He was a peerless figure who could look down on the 8 Desolation region. However, before Phoenix Girl joined the Wanshou sect, he was already a 9th level noble realm expert. After so many years, there were still no signs of a breakthrough. If what Ling Zhao said was true, then the Black Dragon King had already started planning this after Phoenix Girl joined the sect. Ling Zhao stood there and looked at Phoenix Maiden with a calm expression. After a long time, the Phoenix Maiden's expression slowly returned to normal. She looked at Ling Zhao charmingly and smiled. Little brother, you only know how to scare big sister. Can you help big sister resolve the problem of the dark phoenix body? Although Phoenix Maiden pretended to be calm, Ling Zhao could still see a trace of hidden coldness and anger in her eyes. Of course I have a way. But why should I save you? Ling Zhao smiled faintly, revealing a mouthful of white and beautiful teeth. With such a beautiful woman in front of you, could it be that you really have the heart to watch big sister go crazy? The Phoenix Maiden looked at Ling Zhao with resentment. Her large, soul-stealing eyes could almost steal a person's soul away. It's very simple to get rid of your dark phoenix constitution. As long as you cultivate the Phoenix Clan's supreme true Phoenix secret technique, not only will you be able to avoid the danger of chi deviation, but you will also be able to completely transform your black phoenix body. Even becoming a supreme being in the future is not impossible. Ling Zhao smiled faintly. True Phoenix secret technique? Could it be that you have such a technique? The Phoenix Maiden's face was full of disbelief. The Phoenix Clan's supreme technique was at least a supreme martial art. She did not think that Ling Zhao would have such a technique. The true Phoenix secret technique is a god-tier technique that surpasses the supreme martial art. Naturally, I don't have it. Ling Zhao smiled faintly. Then what's the point of telling me this? The Phoenix Maiden rolled her eyes. I don't have it now, but I will have it soon. As long as you are willing to be my maid, I can pass this technique to you. Ling Zhao said slowly. Just like the ancestral dragon secret technique was the supreme technique of the true dragon clan, the true Phoenix secret technique was also the supreme technique of the Phoenix clan. Coincidentally, the textless heavenly book had the true Phoenix secret technique. The true Phoenix secret technique was ranked second among the 72 Earth Fiend's secret techniques, second only to the ancestral dragon secret technique. Ling Xiao had previously discovered that when the Phoenix Maiden used the vermilion bird true technique, it would attract the attention of the textless heavenly book. He guessed that the vermilion bird true technique might be a part of the true Phoenix secret technique. Be your maid. Dream on. The Phoenix Maiden rolled her eyes and said. She was the heaven's pride of the Wanshou sect. Her talent was peerless and famous throughout the Eight Desolates region. Who had the qualifications to say that they would accept her as the Phoenix Maiden? Ling Xiao was simply a lunatic. Ling Xiao glanced at the Phoenix Maiden indifferently and said, "You are a heaven's pride and many people like you. But in my eyes, you are nothing. The Eight Desolates region is too small. Compared to the War God continent, the Eight Desolates region is like a small puddle. Although your talent is not bad, compared to the peerless heaven's pride of the War God continent, it is nothing. Be my maid and I will take you out of the Eight Desolates region, conquer the War God continent, and ascend to the supreme position. At that time, the Black Dragon King will be just an ant that can be destroyed with a flip of my hand. You only have one chance, think carefully." At this moment, the old goat appeared out of nowhere. The river diagram had been completely refined by the old goat and turned into a cloak that draped over the old goat's body. It looked very majestic. The old goat said lazily, "Little girl, it is your fortune to be this brat's maid. Do you know who his master is? The sky-devouring supreme of the Changshan sect. He was a peerless expert 10,000 years ago. He is also this emperor's brother. Think about it carefully. If you miss this opportunity, you will regret it for the rest of your life." Ling Xiao rolled his eyes. The old goat really had no control over his mouth, spilling everything out. What? The disciple of the sky-devouring supreme? This news caused the Phoenix Maiden to tremble. Her eyes were filled with incomparable shock. No wonder Ling Xiao's talent was so terrifying. In such a short period of time, he was like a shooting star that overshadowed all the peerless geniuses in the Eight Desolates region. Only a peerless expert like the sky-devouring supreme could nurture such a monstrous disciple. Thinking of this, the Phoenix Maiden's gaze towards Ling Xiao changed. Think about it carefully. Ling Xiao smiled faintly and turned towards the depths of the Changshan secret territory. The golden wind jade dew pond slowly sank into the ground. After a period of time, it would continue to condense the golden wind jade dew pond. The old goat wore a red cape and swung his hooves, following behind Ling Xiao coquettishly. Continue to brag. The sky-devouring supreme has already passed away. Why would he accept a disciple like you? I will expose your true face with my own hands. The Phoenix Maiden snorted coldly. She stomped her feet and chased after Ling Xiao. Ling Xiao sensed that the Phoenix Maiden was following him and a smile appeared on his face. It was not a waste of breath. Although this shrewish girl was stubborn, she was already convinced by Ling Xiao. It was only a matter of time before she would submit to him. The reason why Ling Xiao had wasted so much time was because the Black Phoenix physique was too strong. Even in the War God continent, a person with such a physique would be considered a peerless genius. As long as such a person appeared, the various holy lands would go crazy and fight over it. In the entire Eight Desolates region, only Shui Wei's 9 Nether bloodline could be compared to the Black Phoenix constitution. It was only a matter of time before she became a supreme. Chapter 364. Rumble. A dazzling divine light soared into the sky and exploded in the sky. It emitted millions of rays of light. The light of treasures pervaded the air and propitious vapors rose. It was as if the treasury of heaven and earth had been opened. It was extremely grand. The longevity treasury has opened. Everyone in the longevity secret territory was excited. Someone saw a huge treasury rising from the ground in the depths of the secret territory, emitting dazzling light. The treasury was filled with the essence of heaven and earth. Some people saw powerful divine arts, some saw divine pills that could bring the dead back to life, some saw peerless weapons that could destroy heaven and earth, and some saw mountains of spirit crystals and oceans of spirit liquid. There were also countless heavenly materials and earthly treasures. It seems like the longevity treasury is the place of inheritance left behind by the longevity sect. There might be the inheritance of the longevity supremacy and the sky-devouring supremacy. Some people were so excited that they were trembling and their eyes were shining. 10,000 years ago, the longevity sect was famous. The strongest of them were the longevity supremacy and the sky-devouring supremacy, both of whom were among the top 10 titled supremacies. The sky-devouring secret technique and the longevity supremacy scripture were the strongest martial arts in the world. If one could get the inheritance of the longevity supremacy and the sky-devouring supremacy, there was a high chance that one could reach the supremacy realm in the future. The supremacy could live for 10,000 years. This was a temptation that many people could not resist. Martial artists went against the heavens and comprehended the mysteries of heaven and earth. Among them, the most important temptation was longevity. Although Jizun hadn't reached the legendary realm of immortality, a lifespan of 10,000 years was enough to drive countless people crazy. The longevity treasury is in the east. Let's go. Let's go. This is the peerless inheritance of the longevity sect. We won't get anything if we're late. Countless martial artists went crazy and headed towards the depths of the secret territory. They were all fantasizing about obtaining powerful martial arts or divine weapons and shocking the world. Not good. There's a peerless killing formation in the longevity treasury. Those who enter the treasury will either kill each other or be devoured by some unknown existence. It's too scary. The Eternal Spring sect's Eternal Spring sage is dead. He cut himself 38 times and even his heart was crushed by him. At this moment, the cultivators who had entered the longevity sect earlier sent news. The longevity treasury not only contained countless treasures, but also unimaginable dangers. Sage Eternal Spring of the longevity sect was said to have lived for several hundred years and had long since reached the 9th level of the sky human stage. Yet, he had died in the longevity treasury. Moreover, in such a short period of time, over 100 experts who had entered the longevity treasury had all died. Without exception, not even their corpses remained. Many of the cultivators who had been in a state of frenzy cleared their minds somewhat. Even so, they continued to charge into the longevity treasure hoard. However, they dared not enter the longevity treasure hoard. The longevity treasury. Ling Xiao, who was in the depths of the longevity secret territory, also heard the news. His eyes were filled with doubt. As far as he knew, although the longevity secret territory was a training ground for the longevity sect's disciples, there was no longevity treasury built inside. Could it be that Jin Se built this treasury to preserve the legacy of the Changshan sect when the otherworldly demons invaded? Ling Xiao's eyes flashed with a glint. The longevity treasury. Ling Xiao, let's go quickly. There might be treasures that can heal Dao injuries inside. When my Dao injuries are fully healed and I become a supreme again, I'll help you slaughter the Wanshou sect. After hearing about the longevity treasury, the old goat's eyes lit up and he began to urge Ling Xiao to hurry. You're just bragging. What supreme? You can't even defeat a noble realm expert. I heard that the longevity treasury is filled with dangers. Countless experts have died inside. You're just going to die if you go in like this. The Phoenix Lady, who had been following behind Ling Xiao without saying a word, finally found an opportunity to mock the old goat. The old goat was not angry. He chuckled and said, "Little girl, when I shocked the world, your ancestors weren't even born yet. What's a mere killing formation to me? Just wait and see how I break that killing formation and take away all the treasures in the treasury. We can't be sure if it's the longevity treasury. Let's go take a look." Ling Xiao's eyes lit up and he leaped in the direction of the longevity treasury. The longevity treasury was located in a huge valley. The valley was filled with mist and auspicious air. It looked very peaceful. The ancient trees in the valley towered into the sky, and the spiritual chi was like water. With a casual breath, spiritual chi would surge into one's body. In the valley, a huge treasury floated in the void. There were 4 golden words on it. The longevity treasury. The treasury was filled with resplendent light as countless precious heavenly treasures floated within. There were powerful divine weapons, precious pills with rich medicinal fragrance, and ancient books that emitted mysterious fluctuations. There were mountains of spirit crystals and rivers of spirit liquid that flowed slowly, causing people to be dazzled and bewildered. Countless experts had gathered in the valley, but no one dared to take a step forward. That was because all the experts who had entered the longevity treasury had died. When Ling Xiao arrived at the valley, he saw countless experts loitering around the longevity treasury. Every one of them had looks of greed on their faces. It's Ling Xiao. Why is the Phoenix Lady of the Wanshou sect with him? How strange. The divine brilliance crown prince of the Great Han ancient kingdom stood on top of a mountain peak. His eyes flashed as he looked at Ling Xiao with a trace of doubt. Beside him was a man who looked like a demon god. He wore a black demonic armor and held a halberd in his hand. His aura was wild and his eyes were cold. It was the young master of the Great Destruction sect, Mo Kong. Ling Xiao. Interesting. Mo Kong also indifferently glanced at Ling Xiao as a trace of cruelty appeared at the corner of his mouth. When the divine brilliance crown prince saw this, he knew that Mo Kong was angry. Who in the 8 Desolates region didn't know that Mo Kong liked the Phoenix Lady? Even the sect master of the Great Destruction sect, the Great Destruction King, had proposed marriage to the Wanshou sect for Mo Kong. However, Mo Kong still treated the Phoenix Lady as his exclusive property and no one dared to have any ideas about her. Just the fact that the Phoenix Lady and Ling Xiao were together was enough to kill Ling Xiao countless times. At the Golden Wind Jade Du Pond, Ling Xiao had used the ancient battle spirit to kill countless experts. At that time, only Zhao Ritian and the Phoenix Lady had survived. Everyone else had been slaughtered. Therefore, no one knew how terrifying Ling Xiao was. Otherwise, Mo Kong would have to reconsider himself. Although he was strong, he was still much weaker than Su Yangcheng, a half-step noble realm expert. Chapter 365. Lord Tianyan is here. Is he preparing to enter the longevity treasury to break the formation? At that moment, a figure with a mysterious aura appeared in the longevity treasury, attracting everyone's attention. It was an elder in a yin-yang Taoist robe. He was hale and hearty, with white hair and a faint smile on his face. His eyes shone brightly as they fell on the longevity treasury. Greetings, Lord Tianyan. Can you break this killing formation? Greetings, Lord Tianyan. Many people walked up to greet the old man. Their eyes were filled with anticipation. Tianyan King was an individual cultivator. Although he was only half a step away from the noble realm, he was very accomplished in the art of matrices. It was said that he had once set up a super matrix and trapped a noble realm cultivator for 3 days and 3 nights. Lord Tianyan was even called the #1 formation grandmaster in the 8 Desolation region. The killing formation in the longevity treasury looked terrifying, but Lord Tianyan's arrival gave people hope. Ling Xiao, Lord Tianyan is here. It seems that the killing formation in the longevity treasury is about to be broken. The Phoenix Maiden's eyes were also filled with anticipation. Lord Tianyan. I'm afraid he doesn't have the ability to break the formation. Ling Xiao smiled faintly, his eyes shining brightly. For some reason, although this valley seemed to be steaming with auspicious air and auspicious aura, it gave Ling Xiao a very strange feeling. Moreover, there was a cold sense of danger everywhere. Relatively speaking, the danger in the longevity treasury was the least. Ling Xiao felt that it was very strange, but when he probed with the power of his primordial spirit, he did not find anything wrong. Fellow cultivators, I can only try my best since you think so highly of me. Lord Tianyan chuckled and walked slowly toward the longevity treasury. A mysterious aura spread around him, as if he had become one with the surrounding heaven and earth. This old man will die for sure. The old goat suddenly said with a solemn look in his eyes. Oh. Old goat, do you see anything? Ling Zhao's eyes flashed as he asked. This isn't the longevity treasury at all. It's a trap. What a cunning fellow. Even this emperor was almost fooled. The old goat's eyes were sparkling with a mysterious light beam that seemed to be able to destroy the void. A trap. Ling Zhao's expression changed, and his expression turned serious. He had just condensed his martial Dao primordial spirit and did not have enough means to investigate. However, the old goat was different. In his previous life, Ling Zhao's formation skills were taught by the old goat. In terms of formation skills, the old goat was on par with Ling Zhao. If even the old goat could see that something was wrong, it meant that this place was indeed extremely dangerous. I can't say. I can feel that this is a trap, but I can't detect it. It can only mean that this fellow is too terrifying. He can even deceive this emperor. Kid, let's go quickly. Otherwise, we won't be able to leave in a while. The old goat's eyes were filled with seriousness as he spoke to Ling Zhao. What trap? You're just trying to scare me. I think King Tianyan will be able to break the formation in a while. Phoenix Girl curled her lips. The old goat looked at Phoenix Girl with disdain. He looked at her from head to toe until she felt uncomfortable. Then, he spat out 4 words. Big-chested but brainless. Phoenix Girl was instantly enraged. She pointed at the old goat and said with a trembling voice, Old goat, who are you calling brainless? The old goat said leisurely, I'm talking about the one with the biggest chest. You. I'm going to kill you. Phoenix Girl was so angry that she trembled all over. She was about to charge at the old goat. Stop fooling around. King Tianyan is really going to die. Ling Zhao grabbed Phoenix Girl's hand and looked in King Tianyan's direction. His eyes revealed a trace of sharpness. Rumble. At this moment, King Tianyan had already entered the longevity treasury. His yin-yang Taoist robe emitted a mysterious light as if a Taiji Dao diagram had appeared behind him. It looked very mysterious. Step by step, he walked into the longevity treasury. Ripples spread out from the surrounding void. In front of Tianyan was an ancient mirror that emitted an incomparably resplendent light. King Tianyan really went in. Ha! I knew that the old man would definitely be able to break the array. Since King Tianyan has gone in, let's go in too. Let's go. Immediately, tens of cultivators were unable to stop themselves. Faces filled with excitement, they charged into the longevity treasure vault. A bunch of idiots. The old goat said leisurely. Phoenix Girl raised her eyebrows and wanted to mock him. For some reason, she did not like the old goat at all. That displeasure seemed to come from the depths of her bloodline. Rumble. However, the unforeseen event in the longevity treasury caused Phoenix Girl's expression to change drastically. King Tianyan, who was about to touch the ancient mirror, suddenly turned his head. His eyes were bloodshot and filled with madness. He grabbed the nearest warrior and a terrifying power erupted from his body. Rumble. That warrior's eyes were filled with disbelief. He let out a miserable cry and was instantly torn to pieces by King Tianyan. Bloody mist filled the air and dyed King Tianyan's robe red. It made him look extremely ferocious. Murderous intent filled his body as he charged toward the warriors in the longevity treasury. Senior King Tianyan, what are you doing? Stop. I'm your disciple. King Tianyan, are you crazy? Inside the longevity treasury, the cultivators all had panicked looks in their eyes as they shouted one after another. However, King Tianyan ignored them. How terrifying would it be when a half-step noble realm expert unleashed his full power? In almost an instant, countless miserable cries were heard. Dozens of warriors were all killed by King Tianyan. The wretched cries and the horrifying scene caused the faces of the cultivators outside the longevity treasury to sink sharply. Incomparable looks of dread appeared on their faces. Could it be that there's a ghost in the longevity treasury? King Tianyan has been possessed by a ghost. There really is a ghost. Look at King Tianyan. At that moment, everyone saw King Tianyan in the longevity treasury. His face was filled with a strange expression. His gaze was very strange as he muttered something. No one knew what he was saying. Suddenly, a sharp dagger appeared in King Tianyan's hand. He slashed at his own arm. Puff! Blood spurted out. Tianyan Wang's arm was directly chopped off by him, followed by his legs. Tianyan Wang's 5 viscera and 6 bowels were all cut open by him. The scene was extremely terrifying. Crunch! Crunch! King Tianyan grabbed his arms and legs and began to chew. He even ate his organs. Chapter 366. There was a deathly silence. Everyone was stunned. Their eyes were filled with horror and disbelief. The longevity treasury seemed to have turned into a land that devoured living beings. Everyone's scalps began to tingle. At this moment, the wordless heavenly book in Ling Zhao's sea of consciousness buzzed. A mysterious fluctuation spread out, and Ling Zhao's eyes instantly became clear. It's actually him. Ling Zhao's body trembled. The scene in his eyes had completely changed. In the eyes of others, Tianyan had personally killed those warriors and chopped off his own limbs to chew on him. In Ling Zhao's eyes, the longevity treasury was covered in a layer of black light. Countless mysterious roots stretched out from the ground and pierced through Tianyan, devouring his flesh and blood. Tianyan was crying for help. His eyes were filled with pain, but no one could hear him. The illusory demonic ancient tree? I didn't expect the illusory demonic ancient tree to really exist in this world. Ling Zhao screamed in his heart. He couldn't believe what he was seeing. However, he hid his expression well and didn't reveal the slightest flaw. He finally understood why even the old goat couldn't see through the longevity treasury. This wasn't the longevity treasury at all. It was an illusion created by the illusory demonic ancient tree. Ling Zhao had seen the illusory demonic ancient tree in ancient books. It was said that the illusory demonic ancient tree had appeared 1,000,000 years ago. This kind of ancient tree was extremely terrifying. It could create an extremely powerful illusion that could pull people into it and make them kill each other. Moreover, the ancient tree would devour their flesh, blood, and soul. The ancient books had recorded that an illusory demonic ancient tree had appeared 1,000,000 years ago. It was 1,000,000 miles tall and almost all the living beings on the war god continent were trapped in an illusion. It killed hundreds of millions and created an endless amount of blood. If the war god hadn't appeared at that time and used his terrifying combat strength to destroy the illusory demonic ancient tree, the entire war god continent would have become a land of death. Is the illusory demonic ancient tree related to the extraterrestrial demons? Thoughts raced through Ling Zhao's mind. He could sense a mysterious aura spreading out from void space. It was capable of silently seeping into everyone's souls, causing them to fall into an illusion. They all believed that they were looking at the longevity treasury. There was no illusory demonic ancient tree in the longevity secret realm 10,000 years ago. The only possibility was that it had something to do with the extraterrestrial demons. In Ling Zhao's eyes, the so-called longevity treasury was actually a black flower that exuded a boundless evil aura. And around the flower, countless roots shot out, piercing through Tianyan and the surrounding warriors, beginning to devour their flesh and souls. What shocked Ling Zhao the most was that black demonic flowers began to bloom in the valley, and their roots began to extend toward the crowd. At this time, all the passageways in the valley were sealed. Even if they wanted to go out, they couldn't. What should we do? Ling Xiao's mind spun rapidly. Although the blooming speed of the devil flowers was very slow, there was no guarantee that if Ling Xiao did anything, he would instantly enrage them. That stone palace? Is there a way to resolve it? Ling Xiao's eyes flashed. He whispered to the old goat and phoenix lady, "Don't speak. Keep calm. It's enough to know that our current situation is very dangerous. Follow me slowly." The old goat and phoenix lady's eyes flashed. Although they were very confused, they still followed Ling Xiao quietly. Beside the longevity treasury was a very ancient-looking stone temple. It was covered in dust, but Ling Xiao could sense a mysterious aura coming from the stone temple. If the illusory demonic ancient tree is related to the extraterrestrial demons, it should have been sealed 10,000 years ago. Perhaps this stone palace is the place of the seal. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed as he led the old goat and phoenix lady into the palace. The palace looked very spacious. There was only a mysterious array on the ground, and a mysterious seal was carved in the position of the Big Dipper. 7-star chaotic heaven array. He really did escape from the sealing formation. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed coldly. He saw that one of the stars in the seal had exploded. Only 6 stars were rotating, and there was an extremely evil aura coming from below. The 7-star chaotic heaven grand array was a grand array created by supreme being experts to draw upon the divine power of the Big Dipper to suppress powerful demonic creatures. Ling Xiao could see that the astral energy within the 7-star chaotic heaven grand array was already very thin. The black demonic aura below was surging and constantly attacking the array, as if it would break out at any time. Buzz! Ling Xiao slapped the old goat and phoenix lady. The wordless heavenly book's mysterious waves spread and pulled them out of the illusion. Ling Xiao then told them what he knew. What? It's the illusory demonic ancient tree? No wonder even I couldn't see through it. It's this kind of thing. The old goat was shocked. Obviously, he had heard of the illusory demonic ancient tree and knew how terrifying it was. Ling Xiao, the heart of the illusory demonic ancient tree is good stuff. Not only can it increase mental strength, but it can also heal Dao injuries. Why don't we kill this illusory demonic ancient tree and take out its heart? The old goat was only shocked for a moment before his eyes began to shine. He shook his head and wagged his tail as he walked up to Ling Xiao and sent him a message with a grin. The heart of the illusory demonic ancient tree has such a magical effect. Why didn't I know about it? Ling Xiao was stunned and a trace of suspicion appeared in his eyes. Old goat, are you trying to trick me? Let me tell you, although this illusory demonic ancient tree is only a seedling, it's not something we can touch. Do you really want to die? The old goat looked at Ling Xiao with disdain and said, "You're the disciple of the devouring sky supreme. Are you afraid of a tree? Let me tell you, others may not be able to deal with the illusory demonic ancient tree, but it's definitely not our match. The devouring sky secret skill is the illusory demonic ancient tree's nemesis. When I release the illusory demonic ancient tree, as long as you can resist the illusion released by it for a moment, I'll be able to suck it dry." Devour the illusory demonic ancient tree? Ling Xiao was shocked by the old goat's idea. This old bastard really doesn't want to live anymore. Although Ling Xiao guessed that the illusory demonic ancient tree in the 7-star Chaos Heaven Grand Array was only a seedling and couldn't even be considered to be in its growth period, who knew what would be released? If it was in its growth period, then even a monarch realm expert would die without a doubt, let alone Ling Xiao and the old goat. However, Ling Xiao was slightly tempted. If he could really devour the illusory demonic ancient tree, then the rewards would be absolutely shocking. Great risks were often accompanied by great rewards. You're tuning in to the Blissful Bookshelf YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.